It's the second half of a home-and-home tonight between the Stampeders and the Argonauts from BMO Field after the Stamps outscored the Argos 21-0 in the fourth quarter last Sunday to secure the victory. Toronto looking for a little redemption tonight. It's Friday Night Football coming up on TSN.
It's Friday, coast to coast, the CFL is Canada's game. Well, we're all pumped up to party, and we're ready for a fight. Come on, kick back, relax, watch some Friday Night Football. The boys are feeling bad, when the CFL football game is up for grabs. It's Friday Night Football tonight.
After leading at half last week and losing the game, Nick Arbuckle gets the start this week, and he's looking to get guys downfield. Let's see what he's got tonight.
Jake Maier is third in the league with 13 touchdowns in 8 games. He's completing 71% of his passes. He's got to get the Stamps at 4-4, their first win on the road tonight.
Royce Mechie last week, big game. You said, Enoch, that the game was slowing down for him. You saw some things in him. One interception, one forced fumble, and he's the guy that makes all the adjustments on the back end. He feels real loose right now.
With Diedrich Mills still away for personal reasons, Peyton Logan once again will be the Stamps feature running back. Actually, the only running back on their depth chart for Calgary was only able to record 36 rushing yards last week. Looking for a big game tonight, and it's Friday Night Football. Who doesn't want a big game? We want a big game.
We want a big game.
I want a big game tonight, especially
it.
after last night. We're not even going to get into the controversy until later for Coach's Playbook. Enoch Mwamba, Davis Sanchez, Jim Barker, Paul Lapalese standing by as well. We will get to the breakdown of this game in just a moment, but first let us go to BMO Field and join our Kenzie Lalone. And Kenzie, I know you want to talk about football, but I want to talk about you. You were in the torrential downpour last night, and then all of a sudden you go from the nation's capital to Toronto. You are officially the hardest working woman in the CFL.
Well, Kate, I mean, I got the curly hair to show for it. The rain was no match for my hair. But yeah, I guess same sport, new city. Very much like the Stamps and Argos, same teams, same sport as well, and just a brand new city for them. And you look at the Calgary Stampeders here tonight. The question for them is, how do they replicate what they did in the fourth quarter to kickstart this game here against the Argonauts? And so you look at that fourth quarter, a whopping 21 points. You look at that kickstart, too, of that fourth quarter. Mark and Michelle's touchdown pass. That was actually a play Dave Dickinson brought into the picture just the day before. And Jake Maier looking for consistency. We've seen flashes of them in this fourth quarter, but they'll look to do it from start to finish here tonight. Maier is actually 174 passing yards away from hitting 10,000 passing yards in his CFL career. But it's very much, this is a rematch. We've got a brand new quarterback on the other side. Nick Arbuckle making his debut here for the Argonauts this season. His 30-year-old was hoping his parents would be here tonight. Kathy and Steve, unfortunately, their flight got canceled last night in from Arizona. But I don't know if he'll need that extra family touch here tonight, because the familiarity for him and the Calgary Stampeders goes way back to 2017, him and Ryan Dinwiddie. So he'll look to lead on that familiarity, because, Kate, this might be the game he's most prepared for.
Well, they're going to need absolutely everything from him tonight if they want to reverse what happened on Sunday. It was interesting. So they had Cameron Dukes, who was limited at practice with a leg injury. And, Jim, I know you can agree with me after watching those highlights from Sunday. Yeah, there's a good reason why he had a leg injury. He was hit many times.
Yeah, you take 6 sacks, your legs are going to hurt the next week. There's no doubt about that. You know, I think that Ryan Dinwiddie, to be honest, I think he wants to play Nick Arbuckle and see what he has. They're 4-4. They've got Chad Kelly, a good chance he's going to be coming back. We haven't heard a thing from the league, but, you know, he's due back after this game. But he's about winning Grey Cups. The one thing I know about Ryan Dinwiddie, everything he does about winning a Grey Cup. And this is about, can Ryan Dinwiddie be my guy to get the ball, not Ryan Dinwiddie, Nick Arbuckle, be my guy to get the ball down the field and run a Ryan Dinwiddie offense. Cam Dukes took too many sacks, just couldn't see the field and get rid of the ball enough. I think this is Nick Arbuckle, a great opportunity for him to show, you know what? Something happens to Chad Kelly, I'm the guy that can take us to the promised land.
Yeah, and maybe to your point, and this You brought this up, Jim, and it does make an awful lot of sense. But if Nick Arbuckle, plays a similar style to Chad, and they're starting to transition, because it is what it is. They haven't said anything. Chad's coming back real soon. So if he plays a similar style to Chad, then maybe getting him in the game now, get them used to kind of what more he wants this team to look like, it makes a lot of sense. By the way,
helps the receivers.
Absolutely. You mentioned, one thing about Dinwiddie, because you're with him, is he's all about winning Grey Cups. I think that's most coaches, isn't it, Jim?
Yeah, but you know what? I think that there's sometimes this time of the season, you're not thinking about that. You're thinking about just winning this. I think he's trying to look at this longer term because of the situation.
Touche.
Listen, we're talking about a team that's trying to win the championship game. And look, the back-to-back. We talk about this all the time, how difficult it is to win a back-to-back game. Well, this is a way to kind of give a different look, huh? You switch quarterbacks going into the second, and no doubt the idea is to get the ball downfield, looking at different receivers to try to get the ball downfield and stretch the defense vertically. Last week, it was difficult for Cam Dukes to see downfield. He was getting sacked left, right, and center, led by Mike Rose, and the rest of that defensive line did a tremendous job. Didn't bring too much pressure. At times brought 5, but they were looping and wrapping around, and they had this offensive line in a way that they could not protect at all. And one guy that we got to look at this week is going to be Demarius Houston. Sticky hands, just like similarly to a guy like Roland Milligan Jr. last night that we saw in action. Yeah. This is a guy that can get really active with his hands, and if he touches the ball a lot tonight, it's not going to be good for the Toronto Argonauts.
Yeah, Milligan, adding one more, now 3 above Houston on the season for the INTs, but you're right, he's been great. And, the problem with the Calgary Stampeders, though, is they haven't been able to find a way to win away from McMahon. They're perfect at home, 4-0, but on the road, 0-4 this season. And look at the points for against. I mean, the drastic difference, it is just absolutely something. And the only other team with no road wins this season, the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. Hey, let's talk more about Demarius Houston, shall we? Tied second in the CFL with 3 INTs. Of course, trailing Roland Milligan. Our Matthew Shinetti sits down with him right after this. The former Stampeder looking for a huge game against his former team tonight. Second in the CFL in rushing. 522 on pace for 1,175, which would be the 4th best in franchise history. What does Kadeem Cash and Carey have in store for us tonight? Here's a look at the 5 most popular anytime touchdown props at FanDuel for Friday Night Football. No surprise, Carey, a popular pick to find the end zone against his former team. Both defenses making the list of the 5 most popular anytime TD props, including the Toronto defense as the 2nd most popular pick at longer than 4-1 odds. That could be a money-making evening for the D if you took them. We're not going to call you guys experts anymore, by the way. I'll explain in a minute. Who did you pick, Enoch?
Well, I picked a guy, Kate, who needs to touch the ball more for this offense. This is a guy that gets better the more he touches the ball. He has energy, and it is contagious. They need to get him involved. It is DeMonte Coxey. The more he touches the ball on a team that only has 5 completions of over 30-plus yards this year, and they're dead last in this league. They need to get DeMonte Coxey involved in this offense.
Yeah, and if they can't hold up front, Coxey's a big body, so he could always throw up that 50-50 ball for Coxey. I like that play. I'm going with Kadeem Cash and Carey. And it's just I did hear, it's a safe play, but I heard Ryan Dinwiddie right after the game last week, he made the point. Right after the game, he made the point. It's my fault. I didn't run the ball enough, so I expect him to try to stick to the running game today.
Well, with no Dedrick Mills, as he's gone for personal reasons, I'm going to take that big guy that Jake Mayer can throw the ball up to. He'll go get it. Reggie Bigleton. I think he's a guy down by the end zone. I think he's tailor-made for those goal line type of throws. So throw it there, Jake.
Personally, I just am following Ches now because I found out that Ches was leading our leaderboard. So I'm also going with Kadeem Cash and Carey. I am with you, though. I heard Dinwiddie say that he did want to run the ball more. So I did a little research on this one. And this is why I'm not calling anyone an expert anymore. Let's take a look at our leaderboard. This is absolutely pathetic. Jim, Enoch, and I are all chasing Ches at the top for the anytime touchdown challenge.
One long shot.
Enoch gained a little ground last night when Sean Bain Jr. scored, by the way. But these records, I mean, my
Congratulations, Milt Stegall.
Wow.
This is...
Milt's never going to win a championship.
Love you, Milt. You can't do that, Ches.
They're inside the Winnipeg 20. Down by 3. Time running drama in Hamilton.
Great route run, and the ball put right where it had to be by Cody Fajardo.
He ran right at his inside shoulder, attacked his technique. Cody put it on him. It's tough to cover.
If you're a Blue Bombers fan, you know just how close Demario Houston was to knocking down the pass that led to the game-winning touchdown in last year's Grey Cup. It's a memory that's nearly impossible to erase, especially if you're Houston. Recently, our Matthew Shinetti sat down with the defensive back to chat about how he's moving on from the moment while finding a groove with his new team.
It's Demario Houston again.
What a phenomenal play by Houston.
Go look to work, McKinnon's intercepted Demario Houston.
How would you describe your season last year?
I feel like my season was a good season, but I don't like the outcome just because it came up short. And then I felt like the last play ended on me, so that's always going to stick with me the rest of my career. And I'm definitely going to use that and have a chip on my shoulder for this season.
How do you process that through an offseason?
It's always in my head. Anytime I get on social media, that play is on the screen, so I just try to use that to fuel me to better in the offseason so I can have a different outcome for this upcoming season.
How do you flip the switch and take that negative moment and turn it into fuel?
Just preparation, just try to look and see what I did wrong, what I could have did better. Maybe I should have reached out with two hands, because I even seen a picture where like one hand was literally on top of the ball. It was just, I guess, the velocity of the ball and him reaching out with two hands where he was able to make the catch.
As you're turning that moment into something that you can use as motivation, who do you lean on?
My family. I always have discussions with them, and they're like, well, you know, it happens. It's a part of the game. Just, it had to go either way. And I was just on the bad side of it.
What's your football journey been like? Take us through North Carolina to being the interception leader in the CFL.
I originally came in as from a tryout. And then coming into my second year, I was finally getting my opportunity, playing good. Then the injury happened, ended the season. So I had to start all over again. And just coming into the season last year, I just tried to make sure I stayed healthy. And without adversity, then I wouldn't be where I am today.
When you put that helmet on, do you think about being a father? Do you think about, this is my opportunity not only to earn a living for me and my family, but to go ahead and to show what that can give you?
I catch an interception, I keep the balls, and I give it to them. So that's something that they look forward to, like, bring me a ball back. So I have to rack up more balls this year. But I just showed them that hard work and dedication will lead you to a successful pathway.
Houston, a hero against his former club.
Is there a moment then when you make an interception? Like, what's that feeling?
To be honest, I black out. Sometimes I don't even hear the crowd, cheering. It's just, I'm just in that moment, just living a dream that I've had in my whole life.
Next question may be a little difficult for you to remember because you black out, but is there an interception that you remember the most?
The pick six against Calgary. That was a milestone for me. That was my first professional pick six. It came in a big game, in a big moment, a close game. That one, yeah, I kind of blacked out a little bit, but I do remember that moment, and it's definitely a special moment in my career.
Oh, you happen to be wearing the Stampeder logo now.
Yeah.
What's that welcome been like?
It's been a great welcome. I'm excited. And a fun fact, I've literally wore blue my whole career, like Little League and everything.
Brent Munson is a very aggressive defensive coordinator. What was his message to you?
Come in and do what you did last year and more. I always try to raise the bar every year, and I'm trying to break records. I'm trying to help my team be successful and win a Grey Cup.
Demario Houston picks up in Calgary where he left off in Winnipeg.
Well, a tough moment to get over, but Demario Houston having a nice start with his new team tied for second in the CFL with 3 INTs. As mentioned earlier, Roland Milligan with another INT last night, so he's 3 back now of the Rough Rider. And another guy on that list, his teammate, who's been really great too, Trey Roberson. He's got 3. Trey Roberson looking for another big game tonight as his Stamps have been outscored 30-86 on the road this season. Looking to turn that around. Don't go anywhere. Coach's Playbook is next.
Loses the ball as he's going down, trying to get rid of it, and this game is over.
The previous play is under review by the command center.
Did I say this game was over? Did I actually say that?
Well, roughing the passer, Saskatchewan number 57. It's a 15-yard penalty and an automatic first down.
That look by Corey Maces, you got to be kidding me. Ward up and through for the field goal that ends this game in a 22-22 tie.
Well, if you caught that game last night between the Saskatchewan Roughriders and the Ottawa Red Blacks, you know that there was plenty of controversy at the end of the game that dominated social media after and even into today. With their thoughts on what happened, let's send it over to the Coach's Playbook with Paul LaPolice and Jim Barker.
Yeah, an amazing night last night. And, you know, I love what Coach Barker said, so I thought I'd include him in our conversation. A lot of words to be said. Let's go over some of the rules. So first and foremost, that, you know, the command center just kind of arbitrarily made this penalty. That wasn't the case. You know, the command center can challenge one penalty. Roughing the passer is one penalty that they've been able to challenge. If a challenge flag's not on the ground, they see roughing the passer, they're going to make sure that they protect the quarterback. Had nothing to do with the fumble last night. They saw roughing the passer. Now, a lot of people talk about, well, when you get blocked into them, that's not a penalty. And I recall this because about 12 years ago, the league changed. They started saying you cannot go hit a quarterback with a forceful blow below the knees. Why is that? Because I'm going to be a defensive end here, Coach Barker. Defensive ends used to speed rush, and they used to get good and low, and they'd get pushed by the offensive tackle. And when they got pushed, they'd go low on the quarterback. Now, irregardless, because they didn't want to rule intent whether you pushed him into or not, they said it's a penalty if you hit him below the knees. And you can't actually say, all right, defensive ends, you hit below the knees is a penalty. Now a linebacker, which I've never actually seen happen, hey, the linebacker does it, they're going to have to use the same foul for them.
You know, I completely understand that. And as you watch this clip, and we've seen it a bunch of times, yeah, he rolls into his knees. Not enough to take him down because he kept his balance and then went down and fumbled. My problem comes in referee Tim Croker is standing right there. He has one job, protect the quarterback. And he is looking, you can see him looking directly at this play.
Yep.
He sees it. He did not feel it was worthy of roughing the passer. So he's looking right at it. He deems it's not worthy, yet they go ahead and they choose to call down. Now, that's the other problem I have. I think the call down should have happened immediately. They should have said, hey, Croker, we're checking this out. Hold everybody until we check for roughing the passer. And he should have immediately said something instead of getting all the fans on the field and the chaos that came afterwards.
Yeah, absolutely. Like they had to, they couldn't allow all those people to disappear. You know, my last point is like you get to a point where, hey, well, at the end of the game, you can't call that penalty. If it's going to be a penalty the first play of the game, it's got to be a penalty in the last play of the game. But you're right. The process was really bad on getting the players back. It should have happened immediately and gone from there.
Lapo,
yeah.
Flow of game.
Flow of game.
Flow of game. What on slow motion looks like a penalty. When you're in the heat of the battle, sometimes you don't think that's a penalty. And that's what I think happened with Croker. He didn't think it was a penalty.
Kate, let's hope we don't have one of those for a long time again.
Oh, my goodness, I could not handle another one of those, Lapo, that's for sure. All right, great job. Meanwhile, let's take a look at the CFL standings. The tie last night puts Ottawa 3 points clear of the Toronto Argonauts. But BMO Field has been kind to the Argos faithful. Toronto has won 12 of their last 13 regular season games at home and 8 straight wins against West Division opponents. Let's head back to BMO Field and join Kenzie, who's standing by with Arbuckle.
And
Well, Nick, here we go. Friday night football, beautiful 27 degrees Celsius. It's your first start here. How do you make the most of it?
Just doing what we always do. Just making sure we communicate and execute. It's just another game for us, and approaching it the same way. I just get the opportunity to have a little more impact on the game and what goes on and how the plays result.
So much familiarity with you, this offense, going back to the days with Calgary and Dinwiddie. So how do you leverage that and make the most of it?
It just slows the game down a little bit and it gets me on the same page as Dinwiddie when he calls plays. Just trying to make sure that I'm approaching the play call the same way that he's calling it, and in his head of what he wants to accomplish with whatever routes we're throwing or concept we're running. And I feel like that's going to help us, and hopefully we just turn it into a lot of points.
Best of luck.
Thank you very much.
All right, so he seems cool, calm, and collected, and certainly saying all the right things. But I got to ask you, Enoch, is there a lot of pressure on Nick Arbuckle tonight and moving forward with this franchise?
I mean, absolutely. He got one start in this season, and he wasn't able to keep that job. And so this is a big game for him. He's got a lot to prove. He's got a lot to show. He's trying to still establish himself. He's been around the league for some time now, Nick Arbuckle has. But now it's time for him to show what he's capable of, what he's learned, and what he can do with this offense.
Yeah, I love what you said, Jim, that Ryan Dinwiddie as a head coach and as an offense guy, he wants his quarterback that he thinks can get the ball downfield.
Yeah, and, he says just another game. Trust me, this is not just another game. He's got last year's MOP ready to come back, and he wants to be the guy that backs him up, not Cameron Dukes.
Yep.
He needs to show Ryan Dinwiddie, I have special talents, and I can run this pass offense the way you want it run.
Yeah.
And it takes a guy who can actually anticipate throws and do those kinds of things, not take 6 sacks, which is what Dukes' problem was, taking too many sacks.
Yeah, and again, what I mentioned earlier, the fact that he's going to take this offense and Ryan Dinwiddie might see more of right now, tonight, what he wants to see from Chad Kelly moving forward, maybe just a little jump on what they expect the second half of the season. Dukes did some good things, but he's a totally different kind of quarterback.
Coach, you're saying that athletes lie to us sometimes in interviews? Unbelievable. Let's go to another athlete interview and see if he's lying. Here's Mike Rose. Mike?
Well, Mike, let's go back to the most recent game against the Argonauts. Your group just found a way to almost bulldoze through and get to Cameron Dukes, but tonight it's very much a new look. Nick Arbuckle, what challenges does he pose?
I've seen Nick quite a few times because he was on my team. Nick's a fast release guy. He's a decent quarterback. We just got to get him the same way we got Dukes. Just got to get him on the ground.
How do you guys find a way to start with the energy you were able to finish with last week?
We listen to a lot of Metallica in the locker room. We get very angry with some hard rock and roll, Ride the Lightning.
All right, rock and roll, baby.
Rock and roll.
Pinball's ready to rock and roll. He's taking pictures with the fans as per usual. By the way, that was a really honest interview.
Can I say something, Kate?
Yep.
You're an okay host.
Ooh, he's lying.
Who gon' stop me? Huh? Who gon' stop me? Who gon' stop me? The time is now, right now. Can't slow down, I'm rising now. The ego and the pride is out. I work too hard for this, I'm shining now. The time is now, right now. Can't slow down, I'm rising now. I work too hard for this, I'm shining now. It's Friday, coast to coast. The CFL is Canada's game. Well, we're all pumped up to party, and we're ready for a fight. Come on, kick back, relax, watch the Friday night football. Boys, it's too bad. The CFL football game is up for grabs. It's Friday night football tonight.
With Cameron Dukes limited at practice this week and having a rough go on Sunday, it will be the veteran Nick Arbuckle taking the reins tonight, looking to lead the Argos to over 500 on the season. Speaking for trying to go for over 500 on the season, Jake Mayer coming off a game where he was 26 of 37, 287 passing yards with 2 TDs, 1 INT, leading his Stamps hopefully tonight to their first road victory of the season. They've been perfect at McMahon, but have not found a win away from Calgary. As we welcome you inside Friday Night Football, Jim Barker, Davis Sanchez, Enoch Mwamba, and your okay host, Kate Burness. Never letting that go, Chezzy. Let's talk about Nick Arbuckle, though. And look, there is a little bit of pressure on him tonight. With Chad Kelly suspected to come back into this lineup right now, they need something big from them tonight. He's kind of got to prove something to this team.
Yeah, he does, and it's, you know, he'll give them the best look that's similar to what Chad will do. And Chad's coming back. They have certain expectations of what this offense will look like, and they'll get a glimpse of that, hopefully, from Nick. Like we heard from Mike Rose a minute ago, he's a quick release quarterback, so he can deliver, get the ball out. It's a matter of coach of does he make mistakes or does he make the right reads, but he'll get it out.
Well, he better be quick release because at right guard, they've gone from, they started out the season with Darius Sirocco, and he got hurt, so on the Castro, Sirocco gets hurt. So then they bring in Gregor McKellar. They gave up 6 sacks last week, and McKellar was responsible for a few of them against Rose. Now, 8th-round draft pick Anthony Vandal in his first ever start. So he better get rid of the ball quick.
No, absolutely, and he's going to need support from that offensive line. He needs a good running game as well, but that defense needs to come out and show up. They did that last week. It's always hard to get that many turnovers like they did last week, but they'll need to have a really good performance tonight. They lost Win McManus to injury, but a guy that just came back, the artist, Flo, is back in the game, and he has got to get active, and if he can be active tonight and get some sacks, it'll be bold. It'll be good for Nick Arbuckle.
Yeah, and I spoke to co-defensive coordinator Willie Fields today about their defense, and he talked about your guy, Royce Metchie. He just said that whenever Royce is out there, he does so much for that defense, and it's not every safety does a lot for their defense, all the adjustments, stuff like that. But what he really does well is he can do a bunch of different things very well. So last week he was impactful, turnovers, strip, interception. He'll be a guy that's floating around making plays.
That's fourth quarter that Toronto would love to forget about, to say the least. Outscored 21-0. The second half of a home-and-home. The Argos have been great at BMO Field, to say the least, though. Toronto's won 12 of their last 13 regular season games at home and 8 straight versus the West. We will see what happens at BMO tonight right after this. Ursula Chanel of Edmonton, Alberta. This is your chance to win big thanks to Save on Foods' $1 million touchdown to win. If the kickoff is returned for a touchdown, you could win groceries for a year. If 2 kickoffs are returned for touchdowns in this game, you could also win $1 million. Good luck, Ursula.
It's Friday Night Football.
Thank you, Kay. Welcome to the 6. Yes, 6. The same number of points that the Calgary Stampeders had against the Ottawa Redblacks. The same number of points they had up until the start of the fourth quarter against these Argonauts last week in Calgary. Down 17, all the way back to stay perfect at home. Now they try to get a victory on the road. Marshall Ferguson, Matt Dunnigan, Kenzie Lalonde at field level for us here throughout the evening. And it's a huge night for Nick Arbuckle getting his first start of the season, Matty.
Yeah, and a lot of people talking about the kids under a different type of pressure with the possibility of Chad Kelly coming back. This kid is got to make it happen for his team. He's coming from the offense. Jake Mayer, we know that he and Dickey are on the same page. And Dave Dickinson loves this young quarterback, how he's slinging around. He got hot in the fourth quarter last week.
Yeah, Dave Dickinson said he was extremely frustrated by the lack of focus through 3 quarters until they finally mounted that comeback again. Argonauts as the cannons fire here at BMO Field, and Ryan Dinwiddie said they had every opportunity to flip momentum back their direction last week, and they just couldn't get it done. If they're not going to execute, they're not a good enough football team to make the number of errors they did and let Calgary back into the game. Well, if you have a home at home, you got a back-to-back against the same team. Why not have a great storyline? And we have it here tonight as we kick things off between the Stampeders and the Argonauts. Once again, Friday Night Football. Thanks for being with us here at BMO Field as it'll be out past the 30-yard line. A big hit and the ball is out on the opening kick return as Keelan Thomas signals for the Stampeders that they still have possession. But that was Hyman back to return. And yes, Calgary will get a chance to send out Jake Mayer. That was tough because they won the coin toss and they decided to take the football, almost lost that opening possession.
Thank goodness they won the toss. I love the fact that Dickey wants to pick up where they left off last week. A 21-point fourth quarter by Jake Mayer. Getting another comeback victory, fourth quarter comeback. He's really been mastering those this year. Lucky to have the ball after that ball was on the ground there by Hyman. kid playing his only second game. One of his first kickoff returns ever in the Canadian Football League. Almost went awry already.
There's 71% completion rate on the season as he sets back for his first drop of the day, and this one will be dropped. It's off the hands, incomplete that time, looking for Cam Eccles.
Yeah, really nice play by Mason Pierce. Broke on that ball coming left to right. Check it out on your screen. Mason Pierce, see him at the top of your screen there. He breaks, opens his hips, and gets there. Beautiful timing, breaking it up on Eccles. Forcing a second and long here. Good way to start the ball game. You're a DB, just like a quarterback or running back. You want to get a hit. You want to get a completion. DB, you want to be able to be in a receiver like that and blanket him and make a play on the ball, which he did.
Talk about it through the evening, but Jake Mayer really emphasizing to us this week, trying to stay in good downs and distances on second down. They'll empty it out for him here on 2nd and 10, and over the middle it is complete. Mayer throws a strike and settling down in between zones before he's wrapped up by Royce Metier. That is Markin Michel with the first grab of the game.
Yeah, he started the comeback victory in the 4th quarter last week. He found a nice soft spot, and again, watch your left side of your screen. Watch him get behind the depth of the linebacker, sit in front of both the free safety and the halfback, and Jake delivers the mail. Easy pitch and catch, moving the sticks here. So 1-and-1 there, one for the defense and one for the offense. Drive's still alive.
So leading the way with 4 touchdowns for the Stampeders. He'll block this time as they hand it off inside, going nowhere. It's Peyton Logan. Jake Ceresna has had himself 5 sacks. Now he gets a tackle for loss as well as we look at the Stampeders starting offense.
Yeah, you know, I start with McEwen because this football team has been doing a nice job of protecting their quarterback. Jake gets it out really well. McEwen handles all that. Markin Michel started the party last week in the 4th quarter with a nice catch in the touch in the end zone. And Peyton Logan, first time Dave Dickinson's ever gone into a football game in his coaching career with just one running back. And you're looking at it, Peyton Logan.
No fullback either, going 7 offensive linemen here. This time they'll empty it out, swing it. Peyton Logan catches it on the run, cuts back against the grain. Good tackle in the open field that time, as it will be Tavares McFadden, not knowing for his physicality, but getting the job done on Logan, and it'll force the punting unit to come out for the Stamps.
Yeah, Peyton Logan's just coming right out here. A little swing pass, going to get it to him. Hopefully he can make people miss in space, and I'd like to see more of this. As I talked to Coach Dave Dickinson on the phone, and Dickie said, Matty, yeah, I'm right, but you know, we can't force it. That's just his 11th catch on the season, and Logan only has, including that, 30 yards receiving and 11 catches.
Cody Grace set to send it away to Janarian Grant, the punt return group for the Argonauts, best in the CFL, nearly 15 yards per return. Will Grace allow them to get under this one? Grant allows it to drop inside of his own 5-yard line. Now he'll pick it up and take the knee as a 58-yard punt. Boom down the field by Cody Grace, as Nick Arbuckle will be the starting quarterback here, and he'll have plenty of options, plenty of weapons around him. Who will be the star tonight on the other end of Arbuckle's throws? We find out for the first time when we return to BMO Field right after this. Well, Nick Arbuckle's told us this week he doesn't have much of a chance on a short week to appreciate what starting really means. He's just happy to be back starting and happy to be back doing it here in Toronto, a place that he feels a special connection with. As he'll get the opportunity in the huddle right now to break it and officially be a starter. He's played a bunch so far this season. As you see, 42 attempts, come into the ballgame 3 different times in relief of Cam Dukes, but here he is with the first snap of the ball game. They'll begin with a little RPO, and he slings it out to the sideline, and it will be complete. Kevin Mittal, just his 3rd catch of the season. Here's the Argos offense.
Yeah, I'd like to get this guy tested early. You know, get him going the right direction. You know, real easy play for him. You got Vandal starting from McKellar, who had a rough week last week, got injured, and Kadeem Carey only 8 touches, and need to get him involved more. And Ryan Dinwiddie called himself out on that one. And DeVaris Daniels, veteran receivers, got to make this veteran quarterback and he get on the same page early. That'll help this football team out in a big way.
2nd and 6 for Arbuckle against a 4-man rush. Steps up in the pocket, looks downfield, pumps, now goes back across his body, finds the open receiver, and it is Deontay McMahon stiff-arming Cam Judge and running out of bounds after an Argonauts first down.
Yeah, a lot of, should I go it? Should I shoot it? Should I stick it? Should I move? And quarterback, you see Arbuckle's mind working here as he climbs the pocket and he's keep his eyes downfield as they're twisting up front in front of him. Hicks almost gets him there. Then he remembers, oh yeah, I got McMahon. the kid from McNeese State out here. Hits him in the flat, and he does the rest. Good idea. I like getting the ball in people's hands like that because they'll make you look really good there. 5 will get you 20.
Cam Judge doesn't miss many of those. 34 tackles on the season. Second leading tackler on the Stamps behind only Micah Awe. Now a toss to the wide side. They go to Kadeem Carey for the first time this evening. A nice piece on first down for the hard-running Kadeem Carey downhill right from the very first touch.
Yeah, and in space, you know, right play, right timing. You know, you got Dozier out there, pretty simple block, just push him out and around, and Kadeem's got the big lane. Nice work there by Brennan Calver, 6th-year player from Wilfrid Laurier. Really just had to get hands on Dozier and guide him away from the lane and pick up 9.5. I'll take that all day if I'm Nick Arbuckle.
Very on pace for a career high. It leaves less than a yard for Nick Arbuckle. He stays in short yardage. Rolls his way off to the right-hand side.
Yeah, rolls his way. Yes. You know, that wasn't a Tommy Stevens type of dominant quarterback sneak there. You know, he just kind of just feathered his way. Hey, talk about Mike Rose. Come on, man. A little Metallica off the top. We got to love that. You know, Michael Rose had 2 sacks last week. Judge, you know he's going to be around the ball 24/7. Missed McMahon out there in open space here. DeMario Houston and Trey Roberson on the corners. Both of these veteran DBs have 3 interceptions apiece. Shut down veterans on the corner.
Roberson alone at the top of your screen as they'll hand it off going that direction, and it looks like Kevin Mittal gets a touch here in the running game. So already tonight we've seen the Argonauts' first-round pick from this past May get himself his 3rd catch of the season. Now a carry as well, mixing him into the game plan.
Man, it looked like he knew what he was doing with that thing. It looked like a running back extraordinaire right there. It looked like a little more Kadeem Carey. Nice job by the first-round draft choice.
And Arbuckle needed a full yard and a bit on that one. Not sure he got it. Yeah, Kevin Mittal getting the carry. Remember at the combine, everyone saying he's almost 230 pounds. Man, I don't know if he's going to be fast. And then he crushed his 40-yard dash, and Jim Barker and I are sitting there going,
never mind.
Okay, yeah, he's a pretty good player. He's fast, he's physical.
Yeah, we'll take him in the first round.
Yeah, he's a first-round pick.
Yeah, he'll do.
They'll bring out the sticks here to measure this.
Take a couple more of those. We got him.
There's not many guys that run. I think it was a 4.58 at 229 pounds. So can't blame the Argonauts for going to get him. But it's been all the way here until August for them to really get him involved.
And he's the reason why Rasheed Bailey's not playing right now. And to me, that speaks volumes.
As they pull the chains all the way out.
Oh, come on.
Close one.
Oh,
Great proof.
Could have gone either way.
3rd down. Third down and half a chain link.
Great camera work there, though. There you go. Julian Hauser. Yeah, he knows what he's got to do. He's got to get low. The nastiness in the interior. Offensive linemen love it. Let's just go. I think they went. Quarterback just didn't follow him quick enough. See if they can't pick it up here.
Yard off the ball. We'll see what they get in terms of separation. As Arbuckle plunges forward in behind.
Kind of hesitated too,
spot as Reed ends up making the tackle. Yeah, a little stutter step there. Kenyon Reed gets credit for the tackle, but it's an Argonauts first down, and they're already inside the 30-yard line.
Right behind Isaiah Cage and Ryan Hunter, Bowling Green, and in Wisconsin, Leclerc picking it up, moving the sticks. Nice drive. Home crowd loving it. Beautiful night here at BMO. Natural grass, you gotta love it. You can smell it. Football in the air right now.
Tavares Daniels crosses the formation here. Arbuckle, inside handoff. Kadeem Carey cuts back against traffic. Wrapped up and brought down before he can get much of a gain going. It'll be number 42, Micah Tights into the ball game, mixing and matching him, working the ratio a little bit with Tights in.
Yeah, I'm just gonna say I'll take 6 yards every time. You know, that's pretty good right there. Tight little hole. Judge tries to go down, then he gets in front of potential blocker and Cage. And well, I thought Kadeem Carey got the most of the linebacker on that play.
See if Arbuckle wants to take a shot here. 2nd down, pressure on from the Stampeders.
Got it.
Double move, up top, into the end zone. Touchdown, Toronto. Mackay Polk with the major.
Pressure coming right down the pipe here. Quarterback sees it. Nice job of blocking up front. Little pump fake. Easy to see up here, not so much on the back when you're down behind the center there, but beautiful throw by Nick Arbuckle to poke, and that's easy pickings for the Toronto Argonauts here early.
Coming into the ball game, 15 possessions led by Nick Arbuckle so far this season, just one touchdown drive. Well, here we are halfway through the first quarter. He's already got a touchdown drive led as a starter. Shift the shoulders, set up Roberson, and throw a strike over the top. 7-1 Argos over the Stampeders.
And credit Vandal, Allen, Castro, Hunter, Cage, rest of the big boys up front, protection up front. Double move, pressure's coming. You got to have time. Nick Arbuckle's not even getting close to getting anybody in his face. And here's a look at the double move. Trey Roberson, veteran, he jumps it just ever so slightly, and he's done. He's caught, looking, reading the route, feeling like pressure's going to get there. Great job of protection, and then boom. Quick 6 right there. Sluggo.
Good vibes in that quarterback room, all pulling for each other as they come into this game, with Nick Arbuckle taking over for Cam Dukes, out with the injury sustained last week against these Stampeders, as the kickoff is fumbled. Now barely getting back on top of it before getting buried. At the bottom once again, is that Hyman that went for an adventure?
Hyman's a little nervous back there, I think, in his second game in the CFL.
Not used to that lake breeze, the sun setting here at BMO. Something's going on.
That could be Logan back there too, right? But they don't want to tax him too much, so they spread the load out. And you get Hyman back there, and he's really having problems hanging on the football, trying to do too much too soon.
The Argonauts go 9 plays, 70 yards in 4 minutes, 48 seconds. And now Calgary tries to respond with a drive of their own. See if they can sustain one with Jake Mayer at the controls. They'll line up with Jalen Philpott in the backfield here. Again, just dressing one running back in Logan tonight. As Mayer, lots of time, checks it down underneath. It is complete. Philpott makes the grab and is wrapped up at the 34-yard line.
Yeah, three double cut, 3 deep defenders in the corners play area outside, and Jake Mayer really doesn't see it cleanly, and he said, I'm out of here. I'm going to check it down. That's what he does a nice job of, getting rid of the football. Hence only 12 sacks in the season for the Calgary Stampeders. Giving up only second to the Hamilton Tiger Cats. Makes sense. You got Bo Levi Mitchell, learned under Dave Dickinson. You got Jake Mayer, learned under Dave Dickinson. Get rid of the football, don't take a sack.
Doing the hard count games begin. Here on second down, high alert for that as Mayer gets blasted, throws it down the middle of the field for Reggie Beggleton, holds it in as flags come out way back where Jake Mayer is, and Reggie Beggleton doesn't care in the slightest.
Mayer paid the price for this one because it takes time for a climb route to get across the field, and he had to lift it and let Beggleton go to it. In the process, he takes a late hit. Beggleton makes the grab that was spotted beautifully down the field by his quarterback. This is beautiful to watch. Watch Jake. 1,001, 1,002, little play fake. Okay, here comes trouble. That's right in your face. That's a clean play all day 10 years ago, not today. Here's Beggleton.
Passer, Toronto number 19. 15-yard penalty and a first down.
I think Andre Prue's a little excited about that call. Trying to protect the quarterbacks out there. Pretty easy call, though, but at the end of the day, beautiful pitch and catch. Jake Mayer anticipated it, stood in there, took the heat. Beggleton, explosive play in the back end. Trying to respond here after Toronto put it in the end zone.
Yeah, Ryan Dinwiddie not happy about that, head coach of the Argonauts, but it will move the ball 38 yards through the air, tag on the penalty yardage. And Jake Mayer is looking at a 1st and 10 from the Argonauts 24 all of a sudden. Looks to his right underneath. Beggleton makes another grab. Saw a lot of that at home at McMahon against the Argonauts last week. We look at the Argonauts starting defense, Matty.
Yeah, why not? These guys, I love me some Falarin. Arimilade, when he's healthy, he's as good as anybody in the league. He had 10 sacks last year. John Jones in the middle, filling in, which is not possible for Wynton McManus. He had 11 tackles last week. Boyce Mechie, season high in tackles as well. Not good for your free safety, but he forced a fumble, had a pick as well.
And leading the Argonauts in tackles at free safety makes you a little concerned maybe if you're the Argonauts. Pressure on this time. They'll send 6 and into the waiting arms of Cole Tucker. He hauls it in for the Stampeders first down to the 10-yard line.
Just quick slant, figure it out, switch motion, gets the defender playing off just a little bit. That's all you need. Keep the drive alive.
Got a 5th overall pick from 2024 and Kevin Natal getting catches and carries. We've got a 4th overall pick from 2023 and Cole Tucker catching the ball down inside the score zone here. Jake Mayer inside the score zone, 20 of 28, 10 touchdowns, no interceptions on the year. Add another completion. Cam Eccles turns it upfield, puts the shoulder down, reaches for the end zone. Touchdown, Calgary. Now 11 touchdowns and 0 interceptions for Jake Mayer when throwing from inside the 20.
Yeah, a lot going on here, and I like the formation. I like the play calling on everything that's happened. You got a man right. Coming across in motion, a little point fake, or ISO. Barnes doing his job on the outside, and Eccles lowers his shoulder and gets in the end zone. A lot going on there for the defense down, backed up against their own goal line to figure out in a hurry. You get leverage on the edge, and Eccles does the rest. Second touchdown of this young man's career. Ennis, Texas. That's actually his 3rd. He had a big one last week. Kept the party going, the comeback going. They got a big play right there from him. Responded in a big way to Toronto's opening touchdown.
Anything you can do, I can do in half the time and half the plays is essentially what Calgary just said. 5 plays, 84 yards in under 3 minutes. It's Jake Mayer to Cam Eccles. A bit of a sleepy start between these two last week. Wide awake here on Friday Night Football underway. Well, Dave Dickinson said that the team lacked focus in the first 3 quarters. This looks like a much sharper Stampeders unit right out of the starting blocks here in Toronto tonight.
Yeah, Phil Pott underneath, picking up a few yak yards for you, and then over the top of the Bagleton. Again, the Bagleton lines up at his tight end there. Little quick slant to Tucker. Nice call here. Eccles finding the end zone for his 3rd of the season. Beautiful drive. Great play call and execution by the Calgary Stampeders in a response drive to the Toronto Argonauts.
Jake Mayer on the phone upstairs. Meanwhile, you saw Cole Tucker with that great grab in that touchdown drive. He's actually in the injury tent right now on the Stampeders sideline, so we'll keep an eye on that for their Canadian receiving depth when they get the football back. Overhand catch this time by Deonta McMahon as he hauls it in and gets pushed out of bounds just past the 25-yard line. As Nick Arbuckle making his season debut as a starter. Bounced around the league, but loves being here in Toronto. More on him when we return to BMO. Well, he used to wear these colors. He's worn a lot of different colors in his time in the Canadian Football League, but peak Nick Arbuckle with the Calgary Stampeders and his comfort in this system. For more, let's go down to Kenzie Lalonde.
Yeah, Marshall, for Nick Arbuckle, Calgary is where it all started, as did with his relationship with Ryan Dinwiddie. So there's an immense amount of trust there, and the offensive playbook in particular has really been a blueprint for Nick Arbuckle throughout his 8-year career here in the CFL. Whether he went to Ottawa or Edmonton, it was always a point of reference for him. And now here in Toronto, he is really liking this quarterback room with Mike Miller, what he's created, encouraging these guys to use their voices. And also Tavares has been someone who's been a great point of communication for him here tonight, and the two will look to work through that, use their numbers and their years in this league to their advantage, and pull off a win tonight.
Yeah, thank you, Kenzie. It's amazing to hear Nick go, yeah, I started looking at this playbook over a 6-week practice roster expansion in 2016. He's still up here battling through things as this time it'll go incomplete, trying to get it out to Kadeem Carey, who was defended by Kobe Williams as he tried to release from the backfield, so it'll be 2nd and 10. But for Arbuckle to be in this offense, through all the variations and all of the journeys and everything else, he feels really comfortable being here in these colors with this coach.
Yes, and sometimes You know, it's the other opposition that makes you feel uncomfortable. He can be real comfortable with the offense, but if you don't have time to sling the rock or you're getting your running back tackled coming out of the backfield, you got nobody to throw to. That happens. Cam Judge does that to a lot of quarterbacks across the CFL.
Four-man rush. Arbuckle will check it down. Incomplete, intended for Kadeem Carey. So a 2 and out for the Argonauts. They've been able to avoid those for the most part of this season. But Dinwiddie with the arms crossed. He did say last time they were here at BMO Field, Matty, and they ended up beating Winnipeg in a very close game, 16-14. He probably should have fired the offensive coordinator. He said, except I am the offensive coordinator.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's I like Ryan Dinwiddie's candidness and how he is. He'll take accountability for what he thought was a poorly called game in the second half, particularly last week, and he got out in front of that. Just like that candidness from a head coach, calling it like he sees it, taking responsibility.
Haggerty will send this one away. A monster boot once again from Haggerty, who had one of the highest averages ever last week in Calgary. Thought it was the thin air in the mountains. Turns out it's just the booming right leg from that man right there, John Haggerty, with a 62-yard punt.
Yeah, that beat his average last week at 58.9. It's his third highest in CFL history for 8 punts and more in a ball game.
From the creator of Letterkenny, don't miss new episodes of hilarious and hard-hitting comedy sensation Shoresy. Stream now, only on Crave.
I gotta watch that.
Are you getting a cameo in that?
No, I'm not.
No?
But I'm not.
Never say never, Matty.
There's the leg right there. That guy just hammering the football right now.
Been crushing it as of late. Big Mare hands it off inside. Peyton Logan bouncing off baddies and maybe a gain of 1, but a long second down coming up for the red and white.
My goodness. Talk about anticipating this. Everybody on defense seems like they're waiting to watch them. They're all coming this way. Just flow to the ball, guys. Get there. Here they come. Pop, 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 pop. Rally at Logan's place. That's what you got to do. Shut him down for second and long. This is what Jake Mayer does not like. When his offense isn't working, it's because they're in these situations.
Toronto sends 5. Mayer stands in. Pressure almost gets there. Now he has to run. Out to his right-hand side. Flips it down the sideline. Big collision.
No
and
way.
Completed by Reggie Beggleton. No. They'll say incomplete. Beggleton thought he caught it till the end of the play. And that's one of those really tough scramble rule collisions. It looks like Mason Pierce is slow up onto his feet. So is Clark Barnes as well, where one receiver's drifting up the field, Matty, and the other's coming back, and it is inevitable there's going to be a collision.
Serezna, little stunt, little tackle and stunt. He's the first one to flush him. Then the posse's coming. Here comes Lauren Remilade, and Jake's got to throw it, and he overthrew his receiver. He's going to his right here. There's the twist.
There's an incomplete pass.
Now, he's throwing, I believe, to 80. I think he's throwing Tucker, and he overthrows him, and then Beggleton just shows up, and he tries to make a spectacular grab, and there's where things got ugly right there. Pierce catches some friendly fire, and all heck's breaking loose right there. But I think that pass was intended for Tucker, or excuse me, Clark Barnes, and Beggleton thought he had the catch. Working hard back to the football for his quarterback. He's on the left side. Now he's got to work all the way across the field. He sees his quarterback scrambling. He's getting over there. Now you see Barnes drifting. And I think the ball's actually thrown to Barnes because I don't think he anticipated Beggleton being in the picture. Then he just shows up because of great hustle.
Clark Barnes back up onto his feet, but inevitably you're going to have a big collision when you have those bodies going in those directions. Great coverage as well by Robert Priesters. It looked like he was completely clean, no pass interference to speak of.
Yeah. I mean, that's just great hustle on both ends. Defensively, offensively, guys trying to get there for the quarterback. DBs staying locked on, and Jake trying to make something happen.
About it, 'cause it's a horrible call. It's a fucking horrible
there. Dave Dickinson doesn't like the call on the field as Jake Mayer launches on.
I love that about Coach Dickinson. He played like that. He coaches like that. You know where you stand all the time. There's never a doubt. And he's not happy with the call. He's just fire competitor, and I think that transcends into his team. And absolutely love it. Doing that a while, doing really good too with it too. Dave Dickinson, 83, 45, and 2, 12 and 2 against Toronto, doing something right.
62-yard punt by John Haggerty. Now Cody Grace flips his hips from right to left and sends a backward spiraling boot down to Janarian Grant. This one will drive him back to the 20-yard line. And Janarian, after a 52-yard punt, gets wrapped up after a return of just 4 yards on the play. Keelan Thomas from the Okanagan Sun makes the play on specials down the field with 1:06 remaining in this first quarter in a 1-point ball game.
You can hold Janarian Grant to a 4-yard return. That's pretty good stuff right
You can hold the 4, and then maybe it's 8, and then the next time it's 12, and then all of a sudden it's 8-5, right?
Oops. Come on. Yeah, that guy's special. He's it's what we have here in the CFL. We got great teams. The coaches preach it's a third of the game, and it truly is up here. Punters, field goal, our battery, our returners, cover guys. It's just an incredible part of the game.
Nick Arbuckle with a minute left, 3 of 5 for 42 yards thus far. Through the air as he hands it off here. Kadeem Carey adds a couple more to his tally on the season as Kadeem, 26 missed tackles forced. First in the Canadian Football League. And it's funny, he has 14 runs of 10 yards or more. His longest run is 17. That's hard living, Matt. He's not being able to get the monster ones that he's close to breaking.
He's a sprinter. He just runs out of gas. And we know that's not true. The guy's a physical specimen. And, he needs the ball more often.
2nd and 6, they'll throw. Arbuckle, wide side, drops it in complete. Tavares Daniels will step out of bounds just beyond the 40-yard line with an Argonauts first down.
Yeah, watch Tavares do his thing right here. There he is. Gets some Tavares. Bang, break it out. Here's that ball. That is beautiful. That's a great throw and a nice route. Veteran to veteran. I'd like to see that combo. I thought they needed more of that. It's good to see it happen early.
15 yards down the field. Deepest average depth of target for the Argonauts is Tavares Daniels. That one goes for 14 and a first down. Arbuckle steps, now throws, gets hit as he releases it. And it's incomplete, rolling in the turf. Is right there, close to getting another sack for the Calgary Stampeders. Looks like it was Hicks in the backfield as Arbuckle will walk to the other end of the field and pick some turf out of his helmet. It's a great night for Friday Night Football here. The rematch of an epic comeback between the Stamps and the Argonauts just 5 days ago at McMahon Stadium. Tonight, it's BMO Field, the scene. Jake Mayer and Nick Arbuckle up to the task as we continue right after this. The numbers after 1 quarter of play here in Toronto, and both of these teams look significantly more ready for the start of this football game. Interested to see how this game evolves as it continues. But Matty, Nick Arbuckle in his first start of the season, the ball's coming out pretty good for him right now. Obviously ending the quarter with an incompletion on a busted up screen attempt, but looks like he's up for the task.
Yeah, Brent Monson, you got to give him credit too. Defense coordinator for Calgary. He's got his boys ready, but I thought that Nick Arbuckle executed the majority of the plays that were called for him in the first quarter very well. And that time it was just defense got the better of it, forcing a 2nd and long. And this is a shootout compared to what we saw last night. But at the end of the day, it's early, and both these teams seem to have a pretty good high level of execution going on both defensively and offensively.
Well, I said Arbuckle was going to pick the grass out of his helmet on the walk across midfield. Apparently, nobody did for him. So he'll begin the second quarter with a procedure penalty on the offensive line, and grass still stuck in his helmet. By the way, you talk about last night's game. I promise someone will win this game.
Oh, okay.
I promise.
Illegal procedure.
There you go.
Toronto, number 59, 5-yard penalty. It remains 2nd down.
Yeah. I'm not going to say anything about it, DeJean. Not going to say anything about it.
I'll say something. The offense has 33 penalties at this point, worst in the CFL. So
and
frustrating for Ryan Dinwiddie.
Yeah, and they jumped off sides 3 times last week on their own hard counts, and that's just not good enough.
Arbuckle set back by the penalty, checks it down underneath. Kadeem Carey, yards after catch for the running back. Have to be big tonight in the passing attack for Arbuckle. Has a pretty low average depth of target, but this one won't be enough, and out will come. Looks like the punt. Oh, Arbuckle's running back into the huddle. Are they going to go? Yeah, Ryan Dinwiddie saying, let's go.
3rd and 4. Not a chance.
Yeah, the punt return unit was halfway on the field for Calgary, and all of a sudden Arbuckle was starting to jog to the sideline, and Ryan Dinwiddie called out the play sheet and said, get back in there.
No way. I'm not a betting man. If I was, I'd say they're just trying to draw him off sides.
Bailey Devine Scott, late substitution for the Stampeders, onto the field as they do go hard count here. And now they will take the penalty. Look at you, Matty.
Violation. Toronto number 4.
I mean, if you want to get fired, go ahead and run that play.
It remains third down.
Come on.
It's almost like you've been around the league for a while or something.
No, it's just, I mean, why not? You know, you never know. You might get somebody asleep defensively. That happens every now and then, and you keep trying those things. A little substitution problem for the Stampeders, running a man on late here.
And Kenyon Reed comes out. Cam Eccles is the lone returner back. As this time Haggerty drives the football down, caught at the 20, and Eccles returns it for a gain of 3. And after a 48-yard punt, it'll be a 45-yard net gain as Jake Mayer and 2 very different games. You could say 2 halves, but really 3 quarters and then just 1 crazy quarter.
Yes, and I've said it a lot in covering Jake Mayer's short career so far as a Calgary Stampeder as a starter, and when he gets hot, he's as silky smooth as any quarterback in the league, and he can deliver the mail effortlessly and get on a roll, and he did in that 4th quarter. It certainly was a tale of 2 halves, and just got to hang in there. Not only quarterback, the receivers as well. You got to be on point.
Rips this one out to an isolated Hyman, who gets wrapped up by Tavares McFadden. It was a slow grind last week, but ended with the 2nd highest net yardage of the season, 367 yards total for the Stampeders.
Yeah, and here's a look at what we're talking about. You know, you just got to stay on point, keep trusting, first half to second half, and a lot of that is late. And it's just not the quarterback, because you know as well as anybody, Marshall, you can deliver the mail, but if your receivers aren't locked in, you know, if the running back's coming out of the backfield, dropping one late, you know, unfortunately, second long can stymie things in a hurry, so everybody's got to be on point. Certainly Jake Mayer's crew were last week.
Pressure here from Mary, gets it out, complete to Hyman, who will get the Calgary first down. And to your point, the Calgary receivers, they didn't just step up and make okay plays. They made great plays in that 4th quarter, which really allowed Mayer to play with confidence against Toronto.
Yeah, they did. And here's a look at Hyman, who's really struggled. He's right here, and not a difficult route, but it's good to see him get 2 touches in a row and kind of settle down, because on the kickoffs, punts, it's been a little difficult for the young man making a second start, but he settled down there nicely, helping his team stay on the field.
Flip it underneath this time on a little jet sweep going the other way. Hyman breaks 3 tackles, now 4, cuts back into the open field, and he'll be wrapped up at the 50-yard line. But that one goes for 16 yards as Hyman, once again, the return specialist that they kept in camp despite the fact he was hurt based on his potential, makes a great play.
Yeah, just made his first start last week, and they call him Ishmael Hyman. 3 touches in a row. Dickey says, let's keep going to the well. 81's hot. A little end around, breaking a tackle from Shrezna, getting some help on the edge, and just shedding people off like kill the guy with the ball in the front yard. Love that.
6 foot, 189, but he's got length as well. This time they'll flip it out to Peyton Logan. Everybody blocking out in front down the field, and Logan gets blasted into the sideline. as it was John Jones and Royce Metier getting there to make the contact. Won't be enough for the first down, but effective. A swing screen that time with everybody blocking immediately for Logan.
Yeah, a little slow developing, but these blockers out in front, all 4 of them had to do a great job extending their blocks. You'll see all 4 Calgary receivers trying to maintain their blocks. Boom, boom, just stay on them, stay on them, stay on them. And finally, Logan gets the corner and picks up 8. Well, that's a nice job, but just working hard. Clark Barnes on the edge, the most important one right there.
2nd and 2, they'll hand it off. It's Tommy Stevens, the 3rd-string quarterback, who we heard was going to get a couple of touches as a running back tonight. So they go 2 quarterbacks on the field. 12 hands it off to 15.
Yeah, we went through those scenarios with Coach Dickinson and Jake Mayer. Okay, you only got 1 back. We get it. What if he goes down? Who we going with? And pretty much Stevens was the first name out of everybody's mouth. Oh, you guys 6'3", 6'4", 250.
I get it. Hear me out, Matty. If you're putting 2 quarterbacks on the field, one of them's going to be a power back and get an inside run. Can we not just go Wildcat?
Right.
What are we doing? Just add an extra blocker.
There you go. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that play right there that just executed.
Mayer pumps the swing, steps forward in the pocket. Oh, he felt the pressure coming, gets it out to Cole Tucker, and he'll get brought down at the 43-yard line of the Argonauts. So it'll be 2nd down and about 6 to go.
Yeah, faking little slip screen to your right to Peyton right here. That was to Eccles, and then they covered it well in the back end, so he had to check down. And that's just a heads-up play by Benji Franklin, 2nd-year player from Tarleton State.
Great open field tackle. And it does set up 2nd down and 7. Argonauts back end, all flat line, sitting on their heels as Mayer gets it out underneath. Reggie Begelton's got to fight for the first down. He won't get there. Wrapped up right around the 40 and needed to get to the 37.
How about Priester? I mean, he's given up about 4 inches and about 40 pounds here. Begelton's running a little bang route right in front of you. A little pop. Stick it. Priester's on his case. He jumps up in the air, kind of helps Priester. He catches him, and he just kind of buries him, staples him to the turf short of the first down. It's good play on both sides there, offensively and defensively.
Cole Tucker battling something here as he hobbles his way to the sideline. So Jalen Philpott in the ball game. They'll go into the backfield here and actually take the handoff as Philpott turns the corner, and on 3rd and 3, easy money for Jalen Philpott. They're finding a variety of different ways to run the football. It's not just Logan. Now it's Tommy Stevens and mixing in Jalen Philpott.
In that conversation with Dave Dickinson about only starting 1 running back and Peyton Logan, he talked about this guy almost instantaneously when we asked him the question, who gets the rock? And he says, well, I'll tell you what, Philpott's got a lot of Braylon Addison.
Yeah, high praise.
And it's like, wow. I thought that was great for Braylon Addison, receiver for the Red Blacks, and obviously with the Hamilton Tire Cats. But, yeah, that's high praise for Jalen Philpott used in that situation right there.
It's time to go back to the base run game as Peyton Logan picks up about 4 or 5 yards on the play. But yeah, to your point about Jalen Philpott, when you say Braylon Addison kind of potential, that is Swiss Army knife type stuff, and any team that has a weapon like that has to use it to their advantage.
Yeah, high praise indeed. Coach Dickinson making a great comparison, flattering for the young receiver of a guy that's kind of done it for a while now, and Braylon Addison paid the price. Hasn't been healthy as of late in the last couple of years, but boy, when he is, he's as good as anybody.
Hard count here from Jake Mayer trying to catch the Argonauts offside. They don't jump. On the 10th play of the drive, Peyton Logan catches it behind the line of scrimmage, makes 2 men miss, and wrapped up down at the 20-yard line. First down, Calgary, and once again, the Stampeders piecing together a long drive.
Yeah, I just love this play call. And I like the idea of getting the ball into Peyton Logan's hands, 3rd-year player from Tennessee Martin in space. You know, he's used to chipping, helping and blocking. You talk to any man offensively or in that Calgary organization, they'll tell you Peyton Logan's the smartest football player we have, and he's also very talented in space. Get him the rock, and he'll make good things happen. 2-0, doing just that.
Arkin Michelle just 1 catch for 19 yards, but blocking downfield on each and every one of these passes behind the line of scrimmage. Now Mayer with pressure on, down he goes. Big sack for the Argonauts as Serezda came in to celebrate alongside Robert Priester, making plays here in the 2nd quarter.
Yeah, just talked about this man giving up some size, but he's got plenty of heart. He's right here. He's going to come right off the edge, and he's going to get there. Get there. Make no mistake about it. Jake takes the least path of resistance there because he saw Serezna coming in the second wave. He says, now I'm going to go down. I'm not going to fight that feeling.
Argonauts came in with 18 sacks, tied for best in the CFL. They continue to push that. Serezna is their leader with 5 on the year. There, deep drop. Rifles this one, looking for Beggleton. And Mason Pierce was in coverage immediately. Dave Dickinson goes reaching into his back pocket. Will he challenge? They'll wait for a replay and talk to his staff upstairs first.
Yeah, we'll watch the Beggleton route. I saw it. This is the same type of route he had before. He's going to go up here and bang it out. But it's much deeper this time. Now his idea is to come back outside. Ball's thrown there. Mason, I think, grabs his hips, and that's why Beggleton started raking his jersey, signing to his coach that he felt like there was a little defensive pass interference.
Yep, you see Dave Dickinson there. He just says DPI to our referee, Andre Prue.
Calgary is challenging the previous play for defensive pass interference. The play will be reviewed.
So they'll take a look at it in command as Reggie Beggleton.
Don't make it twice.
The intended receiver. As Tom Valesi, the replay official for this game tonight, Friday Night Football with the Stamps and the Argos. Anything here, Matty? Little clutch, little grab. We'll find out when we come back as Reggie Beggleton believes that Calgary should have another shot towards the end zone. We'll find out. There is Dave Dickinson through the challenge flag, looking for defensive pass interference against Mason Pierce as Reggie Beggleton was the intended target. Ripped the Wilson down the field, and I'm not sure if there's enough there. Pretty good coverage by Mason Pierce as we have the announcement from our referee, Andre Prue.
After further review, the ruling on the field stands. Calgary will be charged a timeout, and they're out of challenge.
Apologize for the language on Reggie Beggleton there, but obviously frustrated by the call. Thought that there was more contact. Couldn't get back to the football.
Dave Dickinson now 2 of 5 on the season.
Rene Paredes has made 25 consecutive field goals, tied for the 10th longest streak in CFL history. And doink! Thy name is announcer curse.
I'm not even going to say anything, Marshall.
8-7. Calgary continues to lead. The wind's whipping here at BMO Field, coming off the lakeshore. You see those flags. It wasn't on me. It's the wind. Paredes, the streak. It's over.
Marshall, I am not going to help you out here. You're on your own. Go ahead.
It's windy. It's windy. Rene Paredes is a fantastic kicker. There's a lot of wind here. His career accuracy is well known, but this one, I mean, you can see the flags in the background there as well. The opposite end of the stadium, just absolutely drifting and turning, and even look at the lapels on the golf shirt for Dave Dickinson. Even those
are reaching, Ferguson.
You can feel it. Argonauts get the football back after the Paredes rare miss. Nick Arbuckle completes an underneath pass to DeVaris Daniels, adds to his tally on the evening.
You know, getting back to the field of play and what Nick Arbuckle's doing. Hey, he's happy the wind kicked in there, but I like this. This is a veteran throw to me. Doesn't look like much. Point fake, gets out and around. Deep ball is covered, and he checks it down to DeVaris Daniels because you got Coxie up the field, and he's covered. Daniels is underneath. He doesn't force it. He takes what the defense gives him, puts him in second and manageable. Both coordinators, both head coaches, calm plays. Happy when the quarterbacks do that.
Arbuckle hands off inside. Kadeem Carey adds to his lead when it comes to first down rushes this season. They'll move the sticks across the 40, and it'll be at the 43-yard line of the Argonauts, 1st and 10.
Yeah, oftentimes you get quarterbacks get a little greedy and they want to stick it in there. They love the arm, and both these guys have enough arm to fit those balls in there, and we've seen Nick do that more times than not. And I think that's what's got him in trouble, is he's got such good arm talent. He tries to do too much. It's good to see him check down there, put his team in good situation, getting decent field position back here.
Carey Lines up alongside Arbuckle. They'll fake to him, fake the swing, and now trying to go back to that swing for Deontay McMahon. And we saw a little bit of that from the Stampeders earlier against similar offensive systems and little tweaks in execution and everything else coming off a short week 5 days ago playing each other. But that one Calgary sniffed out from the very beginning.
Yeah, Brent Monson's defensive secondary had this locked down, a little pump fake on the bubble screen. And Nick didn't force it again. Heads up, veteran move. Not going to put it in harm's way and try to force one in there. Just dumps it out there and basically uncatchable, but good play, smart play, lived to play another one.
Arbuckle began 3 of 3. He's now 3 of his last 7 in this ball game. He'll throw once again here. Deeper drop, looks over the middle. Big collision this time. Micah Awe right there alongside Kadeem Carey. And it goes incomplete now. 3 of his last 8 for Arbuckle.
Awe had the heads up on that one. You know, you want to see, I want to see that collision. I want to see those two guys go at it more often, but you're going to see, you see Awe right in the middle of your field right here. Let me see if I can get him here, folks. Give me a second. Nope, not that one. Not that one. Yeah, he's number 7. He's going to come down, and he's right there, and he will paste you. He will light you up in a heartbeat. Well over 400 tackles in his career, and he comes with a nasty attitude every time. One of the best running backs in the league. I think he had 7 on his mind before catching that football.
Gary taking a deep breath on the sideline after absorbing that hit as Haggerty goes back to work and does what he does, which is just crush footballs with his right foot. Ishmael Hyman returns it across the 20 all the way out to the 30. Fantastic return after a 60-yard punt for John Haggerty, as he's just going to crush all kinds of records. As the big hit over the middle, Kadeem Carey, the star running back, former Calgary Stampeder, in the lineup here in double blue and feeling it.
Wow, yeah, he did.
Cam Eccles' sensational season continues. When he's been healthy and in the lineup, he's been making touchdown grabs. It was week 1 here against the Hamilton Tiger Cats. Last week, this was an absolute game changer. Up against Tavares McFadden, gets back on his feet untouched, dives into the end zone, then here we are tonight, underneath and running through tacklers. That's his 3rd touchdown of the season.
Hilltopper, Western
Well, he
Kentucky.
finished there, but he actually ran track at TCU when he started his career. 200-meter and 4x1 relay. So
that's the land of the fast down there.
Speaking of which, fast throw out of the hands of Jake Mayer, complete to Jalen Philpott. That'll be a gain of 11. First down for the Stampeders, and we hit the 3-minute warning. As fireworks in the first quarter, second quarter, these teams feeling each other out a little bit more. And we'll see if the Stampeders will be able to find a way into the end zone and separate themselves from Toronto. As Cam Dukes watches on tonight, not in the lineup. Nick Arbuckle starting, and Reggie Begelton trying to get back on the score sheet.
Great halftime coming up. We're going to give a lot of love to the coaches. We got Dave Dickinson getting a little creative with his running backs. Ryan Dinwiddie's doing great with Arbuckle. And guess who's here?
That's the sound of the police.
Thank you to the best host who's ever worked on the CFL and TSN, Kate Burness. Chezzy, cheap shot. Jalen Philpott. Another quick screen, trying to work that out of his hands as fast as he can, and Philpott's racking up the catches here tonight against Toronto. Just a gain of 2, 2nd and 8.
Yeah, they're using Hyman and Philpott, obviously Logan, you know, trying to, I think, spread the touches around a little bit. High percentage throws for the quarterback, get him in second and manageable. That time didn't work out, but trying to spread the load here with just one running back on the roster.
2 defensive linemen with their hands on the ground, but Toronto sends 6. They get it out to Begelton with numbers. Can he break a tackle? No. Great open field wrap that time. Royce Metier. They look like, yeah, it will be Deshaun Amos slowly up onto his feet and makes his way back to the sideline with that right arm a little bit slow to join.
Yeah, you got the right numbers here. They bring pressure, and you've got every man accounted for one-on-one with Begelton and Royce Metier. and he gets the job done. Open field tackle, picking up where he left off last week. 9 tackles, 1 forced fumble, and an interception.
I loved you asking him this week, Matty, what can you do better? He said, I don't know, 10 tackles?
Right. He had 8 2 weeks ago, 9 last week, so 10 is the obvious number.
That's Janarian Grant from his own 20-yard line. Brings this one in. Great coverage on the 46-yard punt that time. And special teams tackle goes to Darius Williams as the American earning it on special teams down the field. So halftime coming up with Kate, Davis Sanchez.
Star of the show right there. Star of the show.
Yep. Yep. That birthday boy second in, just next to Kate, in between Coach Barker and Kate.
What number are we putting on that? What are we, Chaz? Are we 40 what? 40, I'm going to say 2? I don't know. I'm just guessing here.
He's going to have to answer at halftime now. That's the opening of the halftime show coming up. It's a beautiful sunset over the GTA. And at BMO Field, a tight ball game with minute 55 remaining in this first half. Arbuckle brings it out complete. As it is Micaiah Polk who has the touchdown for the Argonauts. Hauling it in on just a play that took 3 seconds to complete and picked up 8 yards.
Yeah, everybody's got it. Simple. Go up there, read the defense, sit down. Quarterback will spot you the football. Halfback's high, corners low. You got a soft little spot over there. Just read it, sit there, and ball should be delivered on time. Picks you up 6 or 7.
It's the last 3 games for the Argonauts determined by 4 points or less. That trend continuing here in the first half. 1-point ball game. Kadeem Carey turning the legs. Really does feel like the formula for success for this Argonauts offense, Matty, is first down, passing, pick up 6, 7, 8 yards, and then you just give it to Kadeem Carey on 2nd and 2, 3, or 4.
And let him explode into somebody and take out his anger on someone, his athletic ability, and he typically picks that up for you.
There is Arbuckle
again
back to the air. They run a little curl concept as another completion. This time Richie Sindani makes the grab. Arbuckle quick back to the line of scrimmage as we roll with a minute 23 remaining in the first half.
Same type of thing. Same type of thing. Just zone coverage. Veteran guys seeing it. Playing a little pitch and catch out there.
Back to Carey on 2nd and 2, and once again turns the legs and picks up the double blue first down.
As a play caller, as a quarterback, you go back to it until they stop it. And when they have to stop it, they usually have to make some type of correction or adjustment. And when they do, you give them the same look, and then you bust them another way. And to me, you just try to play the cat and mouse and stay one step ahead. It's like chess.
Arbuckle goes backside. Michael Alway. Demario Houston has the interception, his 4th of the year. Houston down the sideline, steps out of bounds. And it was Micah Alway making the play to get Houston the interception. As Alway read the eyes of Nick Arbuckle, and got his hands on the football.
Micah Alway just makes a heck of a break in his football. And he's in the middle of your screen. Opens to his left, sees it the Alway, dives, hits the ball in the air. Demario Houston's next man, and he's got his, 4th interception. 13th of his career right there, thanks to his good friend, middle linebacker, Micah Alway. 7th-year player from Texas Tech.
The 2023 CFL interception leader continues to rack them up. Well, the tackle master, Micah Alway, makes a play in the passing game. Now Jake Mayer trying to turn it into points. Dances out of the pocket, down the field, falling down, and still being able to make the grab. They'll spot it for Peyton Logan, who was wandering down around the 13-yard line.
I didn't think Jake had enough on this, but he kept his eyes downfield. Credit Mayer for doing that. He's flushed. Seresna's back in there harassing him. Then he just kind of flicks it. Peyton on his knees. Great job of getting underneath that. 2-0, showing you his diversity.
Jake Mayer, the most score zone touchdown passes of anybody in the CFL. He won't add to that here. He has 11 on the season. But it will be underneath to Reggie Beggleton as the 30-year-old Mayer completes yet another down inside the score zone. 2nd and 10.
Royce Metier, watch him do his thing. Got him on the cone. Get some, get some, get some. Yeah, and he just, I mean, that's just great recognition. No wonder the guy's getting close to double digits every week. 8-9, 8 2 weeks ago, 9 last week. having another great game.
Last time down here, it was Cam Eccles. Where will they go on 2nd and 10? Argo sent the pressure. Now Mayer has to step up underneath. Complete. Mark and Michelle haven't said his name in a while. They'll spot it. And it will be, looks like good enough for a 1st and goal.
Yeah, circus catch. Quarterback under duress. Jake Mayer moving around back there a couple times on this drive.
18 seconds here, Matty. They got to dial it up quickly.
Oh, they got brains.
They whistle it in. Clock rolls. Mayer hands it off into the end zone. Touchdown, Calgary. Peyton Logan gets his first rushing touchdown of the season.
That was a nice drive by the Calgary Stampeders. Points off a turnover right there, baby.
And the end of the first half here feels a lot like the end of the fourth quarter.
That's too easy. Bell just too easy, chipping the next level. The guy he's got to chip up to is Royce Metier. Just get a hand on him and he'll go flying. And that was an easy walk in for Peyton Logan. That's a heck of a drive off a turnover for the Stamps. Making magic, saying thank you very much to a great play by Micah Howey.
It doesn't happen without the great catch as well by Mark and Michelle. And Reggie Beggleton getting yards after the catch. Everyone contributing on a 4-play, 37-yard drive. Just took 42 seconds to get into the end zone after the Micah Howey tip to Mario Houston interception. And now Rene Paredes lines up the extra point. Knocks it through for a 15-7 advantage as a late flag comes out. There's a little bit too much discussion between these two clubs, and at the end of the play, the officials determine someone deserves a flag. Looks like it might have been Trevon Tate, the former Argonaut, maybe talking to his ex-teammates.
Yeah, why not?
After the play, misconduct penalty, 10 yards, Calgary number 64. That penalty will be enforced on the kickoff.
Yeah, watch this touchdown here and the great job of up front by McCowan and Bell. They got numbers. Bell chips to the second level. Sends Metier flying. Walk in for Logan. That was just a little film study. Great play call. And not really perfect execution by the Calgary Stampeders on that drive, because Jake Mayer had to make some things happen. Logan made a nice catch. You saw Mark and Michelle make a nice catch, and then everybody just kind of contributing there when they had to, and taking the lead possibly here into halftime.
Goes back to the Micah Howey tip, and he told us a couple of weeks ago, coming off of the loss on the road, which we said multiple times to the Stampeders this year, 0-4 away from McMahon Stadium, that he was just excited to get back on the football field after losing 33-6 to the Ottawa Red Blacks, because when you have a short week, when you got to turn around and go and get it, you just have to execute better. There's not a lot of work to do. You can't install a bunch of stuff, and that play, great indication of that. 5 days since they last played, he read the eyes of Arbuckle, gets the tip, Houston gets the interception, and then into the end goes Peyton Logan as Janarian Grant with a flag out will get chased down by Tyson Middlemost and pushed it out of bounds by Rene Paredes. This one likely coming back.
Just like that. 3 seconds on the go. If it's not a holding penalty or illegal block, Toronto's in scoring position.
During the return, holding, Toronto number 10, 10-yard penalty. First down.
Well, they get the rookie Kevin Mittal on the call as Mickey Donovan, special teams coordinator, looks on. Only 9 special teams penalties for the Argonauts, coming in best in the CFL. So part of their success in the return game has been the fact that they just don't take penalties in the return game.
Yeah, right in front of you, in the middle of the screen, number 10. Yeah, he's holding Vine Scott. See, we got a pretty good grip in that jersey. Believe me, Janarian Grant, we all know across CFL doesn't need much room.
Daly Devine Scott leading the Stampeders in special teams tackles. A little extra assignment that time from Kevin Mittal, but it negates what could have been.
Mike Rose flying on that lightning, man.
Another 3 points potentially on the board. So 15-7 in an entertaining first half of football here between the Stampeders and the Toronto Argonauts. As Cam Eccles' first half exceptional, including getting into the end zone here early on.
Break a tackle. Go on. going down and get some, deliver a blow. Yeah, you get close to the goal line, you either got a nose for it or you don't. I think that young man does.
Let's head down to field level. Kenzie Lalonde is with Cam Eccles.
I'm with Cam now. Cam, I've kind of heard you say you're like a dog catching a Frisbee out there. So can you kind of talk about this chemistry you're getting now with Jake Mayer?
Yeah, you know, that term just comes from my college coach, Junior Adams. You know, we just had a room full of Frisbee catching dogs. But yeah, you know, the chemistry in the room is like no other. We all gel really well. We also gel with the quarterbacks.
Any adjustments you want to see here on the offense heading into the second half?
I'm sorry, say that again?
Any adjustments you want to see on your offense here heading into the second half?
Finish. Let's just finish. Keep doing what we're doing. Let's just finish.
Best of luck.
Thank you. Have a blessed one.
Kate, over to you.
And Kenzie back alongside Enoch Mwamba, David Sanchez, Jim Barker. We've had a very entertaining first half of football. We were saying after last night, the first half wasn't the most exciting in the world. So this is a nice break, to say the least. And JB, coming into this game, Peyton Logan was the only running back on the depth chart for the Calgary Stampeders. We were kind of wondering, what are they going to do? But it's been really creative by Coach Dickinson to start this game, even with Logan getting that touchdown there.
Well, it's a clinic. He's got an undersized running back who's not going to be real sturdy running the ball a lot inside. So he dresses Tommy Stevens and runs him a little, and then he does things like this. Here he gets Cam Eccles out on the edge, blockers in front. It's no different than a running play. Same thing here. This is a little pitch, but it's a running play to Hyman, and again, they get him on the edge. This is how you move the football without a running back inside. And this is Logan, the running back, getting it outside, again, all blocked up. And now they're going to bring Jalen Philpott in, and he's going to follow Logan around the edge. So, again, just a clinic by Dave Dickinson on how to move the football without having to run the running back 20 times into the middle of the line.
Yeah, hey, Dave can't be happy with Reggie, his vet. One of the things, it's funny, we kind of laugh about it, and that's challenges. We get challenges, wrong challenges from players. Players telling their coach to challenge something. It happens from two types of players. It happens from emotional players, wrong challenges. Emotional players, or what? Young guys, right? Young guys. Well, Reggie Bangleton is neither of those. This was not a play Reggie should be telling Dave to challenge. Dave, I'm sure, trusts Reggie when he jumps up and says, challenge that. I'm sure that he wants to challenge it, but that was a tough one. Usually it's young guys or emotional guys. But when I watched this first half, and one of the plays that stuck out was you talked about, you know, Nick going downfield, and he did early. He found his shot early, the Argonauts in the first half. And this play was actually just a scheme mistake. They have 8 to block 7, so they can block this up. But you look right here, 43, the halfback's in there. He's in position. He's not blitzing. Trey Robertson's playing like cover 0. He's playing inside, his butt to the middle of the field, playing like it's cover 0. Trey, they're not blitzing. You can't play cover 0 when you have 2 hole players. The halfback that was sitting there is there for what? To provide some body position. Exactly. So they have to work together. I expect more from Trey. No understanding what the defense is and how they're playing. That was a mistake. And understanding the coverage, knowing that they can protect it, but you also can double team that route and not play it like cover 0 when you're not getting pressure.
And look, guys, it was a tight game the whole time through, right? The biggest difference in the game has been that interception at the end of the half. Yeah. Nick Arbuckle picked a bad time to throw an interception, but you look here, it's Micah Alway who just gets in the window right on time, as we see Nick Arbuckle right here finding a way to kind of get the ball moving and different ways. And Coach, you touched on Dave Dickinson finding ways to be creative with the offense. Well, Coach Dinwiddie is trying to do the same thing, not trying to put too much pressure on Nick Arbuckle. So he hasn't necessarily taken deep shots too often, but he actually was able to move the ball quite a bit until he ran into Micah Alway, who was able to find himself right in the zone, right in the area where he was throwing the ball, and he did a great job. So it's the challenge for a linebacker oftentimes is getting enough depth. Yeah. Every time we get into locker room, we get into the meeting room, coach is going to tell us, get deeper, get deeper. It's so easy for a linebacker to stop, but he got enough depth, and guess who got the ball?
Demario Houston. Always should get the assist for that. He certainly said. By the way, Paul LaPolice is coming up next. I was talking to his daughter, Peyton, big Olympic fan. I heard Lapo might break dance for us.
Uh-oh.
Huh? Wow.
We got to see it.
That's not true?
We got to see it.
Step into the action with CFL Game Zone. Play games, win prizes, and connect with fans from across the world. Join today at gamezone.cfl.ca.
All right, another second half of a back-to-back tomorrow night. And the Hamilton Tiger Cats taking on the Montreal Alouettes. You can see it 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific. And Lapo, earlier, I thought when you were talking about back-to-backs, it was a breakdancing move. But in fact, you're just breaking down the games.
Yes. Let's start with that. That was the interesting thing for me this week. We have 2 teams back-to-back. Half the league is basically playing each other. What goes into that? Players, coaches. So the first thing from a workload standpoint, you don't have as much film to watch. You're not breaking down the next opponent because it is the very same opponent. So you have less film to watch throughout the week. From a game planning perspective, there's kind of 3 points. You're going to have a huge volume of, I think, information and plays put in on week 1, the first week. Why? Because you're playing the exact same. These plays and schemes should work against the next opponent because it is the same opponent. So Calgary this week, they only had 1 day of practice. So I'm sure they had a heavy install last week. And they say, hey, listen, if we don't get to these calls, we can run them the following week. I think that's 1 point. And I think a second point is sometimes you just don't like the next team you're prepping. You're watching their film. You don't like their film. You don't like their offense or defense or special teams against the opponent you're playing. You're watching your own film, your own information, your own movements, formation, so you should get a good idea of what you want to call. And one thing I always tried to do as a game planner was I was going to show the defense, hey, here's a certain motion, here's a certain movement to run a curl route. So they can recognize it. They're watching film all week. They say, hey, I know what's coming. This is what it's going to be. But then it's actually the double move off that. I was going to do 3 or 4 of those when they think they know what's coming, and then it happens. Now, for Toronto and tomorrow, Hamilton, good stat for them. Normally in back-to-back games, teams usually split these, 65%. Only a third of the time does somebody sweep a back-to-back, which is interesting, so we'll see. Now, Kate, I was a pretty fast kid from New Hampshire as a runner, and I could never go to the Olympics, ever, ever. But in breakdancing, I could never. It would be even worse at breakdancing trying to go to the Olympics. So no thanks.
Okay,
no
I thought you were coming to camera to actually do a move there, and for your kids' sake, I was just like, no, don't do it, Lapo. I love the confidence, but don't do it. Everyone else in the studio is like, do it, do it. Don't. No, please don't. Jimmy B's gonna do it.
The numbers after 1 half of play here in the rematch. Back-to-back home at home between Calgary and Toronto as the Stampeders grabbed a late first half lead thanks to an interception. Maybe this man will get one of his own. Robert Priester is field level with Kenzie Lalonde.
Well, Robert, can you kind of just take me through the team's frame of mind in that intermission?
We just got to stick together and play with one another, knowing that we got our brothers back, you know what I'm saying? Not too much they doing, but we're about what we doing, you know what I'm saying? Play for one another, run to the ball, and just keep making our plays that come to us. Don't do too much, and just stay in between the lines.
We're able to get to Mare there in the first half. How does your group do that more consistently here?
We stick together. We keep everything between us, you know what I'm saying? On the locker room and on the benches, and just negotiate and discuss what we see on the field and make our adjustments and execute them.
Best of luck.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kenzie. Robert Priester flying around in that first half as Nick Arbuckle in his first start here back in the double blue, taking over for Cam Dukes, you see in the background there. A lot of comfort with the system of Ryan Dinwiddie, trying to get on the same page here so they can get back into this ball game as Calgary only had 6 points in the first half last week in the matchup between these two teams. 15 here as we begin the third quarter with Janarian Grant up across the 40, breaks a tackle across the 55, off to the races and pulled down from behind. Keelan Thomas got another special teams tackle, but an exceptional start for Nick Arbuckle and the Argonauts offense with great field position.
That's just incredible. There's not much space there, and he almost fits it. And how does a 6'5", 250-pound guy catch Janarian Grant from behind? that's just special right there. That's why he's out there on them teams. That's effort, that's want to, and that's a game-changing tackle right there. Big-time return, though, by number 3, Janarian Grant.
38-yard return, and Nick Arbuckle with a 1st and 10 after talking it through what they want to run to try and score in this second half. Early opportunity, great field position, play action, looks back the other direction, isolated route, and it is DeMonte Coxey getting his first grab here as the ball rolled out after he was down by contact. So up to the 25-yard line and a gain of 17 yards on the play.
Well, you've got an extra blocker right up here, and then watch a little play action. Nice route on the edge by Z receiver, and a beautiful throw on the money to open the drive of the second half here. Big time return knocking on the door already for the Argos.
Julian Hauser, number 95 for the Stampeders, wandering around, getting this defensive front set. Just 2 with their hands on the ground. Hauser drops out. Arbuckle goes the other direction here to Kadeem Carey up over the top, and the ball pops.
What?
Was it loose? Well, they'll call it down, and spotted as Cam Judge is going for a jog the other direction. Kadeem Carey went flying through the air, and Dave Dickinson runs down the sideline asking for an explanation.
Yeah, I would like to see. I didn't even know what happened.
Field was the ball carrier was down with contact.
I get that, but just let the play out so that you have a choice if, in fact, you want to challenge it. Now they don't have one.
And Dave Dickinson doesn't have the ability to challenge after having an incorrect challenge in the first half. As we get a couple looks at it here, Matty, a little split to the flats for Kadeem Carey.
Yeah, it was a good-looking play to begin with, and then see if the ball comes out. Ball's out. Ball's out. And, you know, that's just happening too many times. Just let that play out.
But Bentley Sanders, 1 hand, 2 hands, continue to fight as Carey's upside down, and it was like the 3rd effort that finally rips it out before Carey hits the ground.
After automatic review by the command center, the ball was out prior to the ball carrier being on the ground, and we had immediate recovery by Calgary. It will be first down Calgary.
Yeah, and you know, I know that Andre Proulx understands that, and I think he can hear the frustration in his voice because just let the play out. And now Calgary could have the ball down at the opposition's 20-yard line as opposed to at their own 15. And to me, that's what I would like to see happen on that play. I think the command center actually got that right a couple weeks ago. It was a very blatant miscall. And, but, you know, I think you can see the frustration on Cameron Judge's face there as well because he understands this could have been a big-time game changer because Judge got the ball in his hands and he's off to the races. That play's not whistled dead there. You let it play out and you get the full play, and Judge is exasperated for a very good reason.
Dave Dickinson as well. The first thing that Dickinson said to referee Andre Proulx was, sure, we have the ball, but we get it up there, right? No. Get the football back where it was recovered on immediate recovery. So Jalen Philpott, after an exciting first couple of plays here in the second half, this grab and rolls his way out past the 20. It'll be a gain of 7.
Yeah, Philpott in another design play where the receivers got to work really, really hard in order to maintain their blocks. High percentage throw. Philpott gets it out in space. There's the work with your teammates. Picking up 8 yards. Good looking first down play.
Philpott shaking out that right arm, asking a lot of the receivers in the blocking game here. What will they call on 2nd and 3? Inside handoff. Peyton Logan turns the legs forward, and Fraser Sopik came flying in from the backside. A little conversation between Dante Demery and Jonathan Jones.
Hey, Sopik just balling out there. 30-plus tackles on the season already. Contributes in special teams. He was a beast at Western when he played. Collected just about every hardware there was to be handed out. Carried over into his football career now, 5 years into it. And he's just a good ball player.
3rd and 1, and immediately Dave Dickinson calls for the Rhino package, which for the Stampeders is short yardage with Tommy Stevens at quarterback. There to the sideline. Hard count. And who jumped. Bryce Bell hopped out of his stance, believing that someone on the Argonauts interior was first to move. Wishful thinking, or did he see it?
Well, typically as quarterback, you want your center to snap the ball to you, and you're always ready for it at any given notice. And so he sees somebody move, he'll snap the ball and catch him in the neutral zone.
Toronto number 94. 5-yard penalty will result in a first down.
And you know the offensive line have the opportunity to protect themselves. So if they move and go to protect themselves, that's typically a good sign. There they jump into the neutral zone, then you reach out and touch them, and you're allowed to protect yourself. And that's a great job of picking up a freebie right there.
Dave Dickinson is fired up tonight.
I think the way he coaches, man. But if you just put it all to, just put an ISO on him the whole game, you get that.
Little pump, looking down the sideline, back shoulder for Mark and Michelle, incomplete as Royce Metier was right there. Dickinson's on another level, and his offense that he's calling is taking some shots down the field all of a sudden.
Yeah, you know, and I talked to Dave about it. And let me see if I can find him. He was right. Oh, yeah. Markin is playing games there, faking a hit screen. My bad on the circling there. That happens. End of the day, I thought that Royce Metier was right there, and I thought it might have been going the other way if it was thrown in the playing field.
2nd and 10. 5-man front for the Argonauts. They'll rush 4. Mayer, backpedal, now spins away from traffic.
What?
Trying to run away from everybody. Stripped from behind, on the ground, and the Argonauts have it. It's Robert Priester.
Did I touch him?
Robert Priester has the football, and they'll mark him down at the 32-yard line. So after all of the discussion about whether or not Kadeem Carey fumbled, didn't fumble, should it have been returned, let the play stand, the Argonauts will get the football back at almost the same spot that they threw the pass to Kadeem Carey to start all the madness. Falarna Rimolade back on the roster, back on the stat sheet, and the Argonauts have great field position again. Here we are, CFL week number 10, and Jake Mayer just lost his first fumble. He's had 3 knocked out of his hands. This is the first one the other team has recovered as Falarna Rimolade went hunting.
Yeah, and you know, I thought that Jake might have felt him on his backside there. Obviously he didn't, and I'm not sure if Priester was ever touched there. I don't have a good look at it there, but I don't think he was. The play was whistled dead. So now Toronto's got the ball at the 32-yard line of Calgary and swapping the field position, and ball has been at a rapid pace here in this third quarter.
Dartmouth crowd, Falarna Rimolade signs his artwork, and the Argonauts have the football back as Kadeem Carey runs into a brick wall. Cam Judge flying into the backfield that time as he and Coxie have a discussion. I got a feeling Judge is going to have bad intentions the rest of the night.
Number 66, that penalty is declined. It will be their 2nd down.
They call that Isaiah Cage left tackle.
Yeah, I just don't know how Andre Prue even knows, you know, who's got the ball right now at this point, because they're handing it over so often to each other. It's hard to keep up. Well, that's tough. And those big boys, when you got to highlight them when they hold. Yeah, but that was just dominance by the D-line of Calgary there, and Cameron Judge was in the backfield once again.
2nd and 11. Argonauts. And now it looks like the football's bouncing around. It popped out of the hands of Arbuckle. And somebody greased that thing up at halftime. Yeah, it is number 74.
That's Coatney.
Yeah, Josiah Coatney got into the backfield and looks like might have influenced Arbuckle enough to have it pop out of his hands once again.
Yeah, he just beats Vandal right out of the gate. He just swats his right hand down, a little stuck to the outside, and gets there and knocks the ball out. And Vandal doing his best to make up for the mistake up front, recovers the fumble.
Well comes Liram Hiralahu. Plenty of leg in the warm-up with Haggerty holding. A flag comes up here as well as Hiralahu knocks this through the uprights. And what is the flag?
So he's going to go against Calgary, keep the points here. Head coaching 101, keep the points on the board. It's not getting the first down, right?
Andre Prue communicates.
Unless it's a 10-yarder.
With his side judge. And
just give you 3rd and 2.
We'll make the call.
On the previous play, we got an illegal formation on Calgary. They had 7 players on the same side. That penalty is declined. The result of the play, the field goal is good.
So closing down the gap. Now a 15-10 ball game as Ryan Dinwiddie in the offense. It was a battle. Janarian Grant return a fumble. They get the football back, and it ends up in 3 for Liram Hajrullahu. 5-point ball game at BMO. Last week, Jake Mayer said the comeback became real on the Markin Michel score. Well, why not go back to Markin to get things going? Here's what his first half looked like. Matty, what do you thought of Jake so far in week 10?
Well, tremendous mobility to buy time to make plays and patience, making all kinds of different throws, which you're asked to in this Canadian Football League. And I just like his eyes downfield 24/7. That one cost him when Ramalade came around the back end. No harm, no foul here, though, as they turn it back over a couple times to each other.
Take the run, throw a little inside curl route to Reggie Begelton, who goes dancing through Argonauts defenders as 2 flags came up on the snap.
Illegal procedure, Calgary, no end. 5-yard penalty.
Okay.
Will we play first down?
So 2 formational penalties here in the last 3 snaps.
And all kinds of fumbles and just 6 people on the line of scrimmage, and they get called for it. You see everybody coming from depth, and that was a great throw by Mayer, feeling it, dropping his elbow slot and his arm slot down, finding a receiver on target.
Hard count now, and jumping out of his stance.
I think somebody's got a voodoo doll, or a couple of them, and they're just going crazy with it right now here in the 3rd quarter.
5-yard penalty.
Well, Travante was talking a lot of smack to his ex-Toronto teammates coming off the field after the touchdown at the end of the first half, and he's going to have to answer for that one in his own huddle.
Yeah, he's right here.
I'd jump out of my stance, too, if I was across from Falarin Rimalade and Jake Ceresna.
Yeah, and Falarin is feeling it, too, right? And tremendous speed. Edge rusher, 10 sacks last year.
Stampeders trying to get back on track. Pressure on again. Ball's out. Is it incomplete? They'll let it play out. Jake Ceresna almost had it. Benji Franklin picks it up, and he's down at the 15-yard line, tackled by Cam Eccles.
And the voodoo doll people are just continuing to have a field day here in the 3rd quarter because all heck is breaking loose. Another turnover. Defense is just making it rough on offenses right now.
It was an incomplete pass. Incomplete pass.
Out and around, got low. Arms coming forward. Falarin, they call him Flo. Rimalade making his presence felt. That was the crappiest forearm motion throw you ever want to see, but it was effective because it was going forward.
Set the game clock to read 9 minutes and 30 seconds. 9 minutes, 30 seconds.
Yeah, I'm talking to people at halftime up here in the box, and they're talking about the score. I'm saying, well, defenses are allowed to win too, right? And we saw that last night. We've seen it in tonight's game, imposing their will.
Whit McManus watching on alongside his head coach Ryan Dinwiddie, injured out tonight on this defense, so he'll watch Markin Michel make a grab here, and on 2nd and 20, Michel gets back about 17 of them up near the 50-yard line, but they'll still send out the punting unit for the Stampeders.
Yeah, I just love this throw, and this is what I like about number 12, and Nick Arbuckle as well, because these guys, when they just make up their mind and let it rip, boy, they can sling it. And here's a good example of it. Watch, it's coming right at you. On the money, 8-0. Still got to punt it away, though.
You're right. When Jake Maier leans into it, as good as anybody in the league, maybe a little frustration let out on that throw. Finally getting a chance to see one clean after a messy pocket. Right. The Argonauts have been all over him here early in the third. Janarian Grant, his own 25 down the sideline. Oh, he's got numbers in front. Tyshawn Blackburn has to get a block. He does. Start your engine. Touchdown Argos. Janarian Grant with another masterpiece in double blue.
Yeah, this is just a little block off the edge, and Janarian Grant is just, it's to the house. He gets the edge, and he's got 10 gears, he's in 6th gear. He ain't even close to tapping out, and he makes it look easy. And I don't know what's happened here in the first 7 minutes of this third quarter, but it's been back and forth. I don't know who's got the ball.
Football's happened.
Back and forth, back and forth. A lot of mistakes, too, and sloppy play and not taking care of the football. But defenses and now special teams have said hello.
Argonauts will go for 2 as an 85-yard punt return. Cody Gray sent it down. Janarian Grant made the most of it, as he's done so many times this season. They'll flood the right side of the field. Arbuckle looks that way. Underneath, right next to the uprights. David Ungerer III tags on 2 more. And the Argonauts storm back with 8:06 remaining in this third quarter. They get the 2-point conversion. As we see Janarian Grant, usually you point for a blocker. I think this is more of a Mutombo finger wag. You're not going to touch me.
He's like, see ya.
Into the end zone. 3 for 6.
Yeah, this is absolutely phenomenal right here. As you're gonna get a great block by Kerfala Exume. And then that right there is just ridiculous when you can point at a guy and know you're already in the end zone 50 yards away from it. And that's what makes that guy right there an unbelievable pickup in the offseason.
How about Mickey Donovan saying 1, coach, 1, and Dinwiddie immediately going no, 2. They maximize it.
Yeah.
Get themselves a 3-point advantage here. 18-15 is now Ishmael Hyman gets blown up along the sideline. Big hit into the bench there by Brian Haralamana, former Montreal Caravan, making his force felt. As Janarian Grant continues his historic ways when you look at number of punts he has to catch in order to get to the end zone per game. Watch all these statistics. Just special.
Oh my goodness.
I got a feeling Speedy B's not going to be holding that third spot for very long.
Gosh almighty. Earl Winfield was special. He was a man amongst boys. Janarian Grant, completely different type of athlete. He's making it look easy in today's game.
They look Philpott with another grab, but Grant certainly changing the feel of this football game as it was. A sloppy start to the third quarter. And the offense.
Oh, he's going silent on us, man. He's like, yeah, this is what I do. This is what I do.
Well, if you heard Latimer talk about him, he's
very quiet.
Quiet guy at the back of the room. Got an opportunity.
Let's just play to his talking, right?
Just waiting for his next punt return. Jake Maier, this one complete. Clark Barnes gets up the field, crosses the 55, and tackled there. As once again, Clark Barnes, the explosive playmaker in this Calgary passing attack.
And such a subtle but great move by Clark Barnes. Comes from the left side of your screen. And he just avoids the tackler, makes him miss seamlessly, and picks up valuable more yards trying to respond here to Toronto's special teams work.
Averaging 14 yards per catch so far this season for Clark Barnes. His 22nd of the year there. it off inside. Peyton Logan looks like they had Rodine Brown, the 7th offensive lineman, shuffling like a fullback, trying to get a kick-out block that time.
Yeah, near for edge linebacker to kind of come up and take that on and seal an edge or set the corner. That's not a good feeling, but well done. Only pick up 3 on that one.
The multiple layers, though, man. When we're talking about the running game of the Stampeders, yeah, we're only going to play with one running back. Okay, that's different. Also, we're not going to play with a fullback. Sorry. And we're going to address 7 offensive linemen.
And we're going to use them in that way. And we're going to bring Bagleton in, and we're going to distribute the football to Philpott as well as
Tommy Stevens,
Logan Stevens,
Hyman, and yeah, they
mix it up.
Totally changed the pace of this game with their running attack. As Mayer looks to throw, pump, looking over the top. Reggie Bagleton, did he put enough air under it? Tavares McFadden one-on-one with Bagleton, and he'll knock it away. Incomplete, 3rd down.
This is a slow developing play, and Robbie Smith comes off the edge and kind of forces the issue a little bit. And yeah, and you've got Bagleton running a little wheel route. You can see it right down at the bottom of your screen. McFadden, he got beat initially, but Jake Mayer had pressure in the pocket, really couldn't extend and lean into it, and underthrew it, and McFadden was able to break it up.
Well, on 3rd down, you have to send it down to a guy wearing number 3, and he has been potent. Arian Grant awaits Cody Gray's kick. After an 85-yard punt return, this one goes for a gain of 7 on a 41-yard punt. 34 yards net for the Calgary Stampeders, flipping field position. And the Argonauts offense will have to earn it the long way with Nick Arbuckle at the helm and a 3-point advantage late in the 3rd. Just 8 sacks going into last week's game against these Toronto Argonauts, but an explosion. 6 quarterback takedowns for the Calgary Stampeders. Juwan Simpson playing a large role in that. With more, here's Kenzie Lalonde.
Yeah, pretty remarkable, Marshall. It was around this time, the 3rd quarter, where the Stampeders defense just absolutely exploded and took off. This D-line has been fun to watch. We heard from Mike Rose coming into this game. Metallica was blaring in the locker room to get these guys going, to replicate what they were able to do just last week. Juwan Simpson, who's been the D-line coach here for the last 2 years with the Stampeders, really bringing that player coach mindset to the group and making sure these guys don't boggle down and get too focused on numbers. Of course, that's significant. You want to build up those sacks, but really trying to emphasize the importance on the details and what they're doing to make those numbers possible.
Juwan can get after it himself as well.
One of my favorite linebackers of all time.
A linebacker out of Alabama, great career with the Stampeders.
I just love the fact that we got so many talented players, ex-players that are coaching now in this league, paying it forward.
As now Micah Awe does meet Kadeem Carey. You requested it at the end of the 1st half, Matty. They meet up here in the 3rd quarter.
I can watch that all day. All day.
Great battle.
It's like inside drill, right? It's just, let's get after Juwan. Scrape. No, excuse me. Micah, scrape. Contact. That's just, that's pretty much how Juwan used to do it.
Also got off the block by Dylan Giffen there in the lineup here this week as Simpson watches on 2nd down and 4. Shifts some offensive linemen around for the Argonauts. Carey will take the fake handoff, and Arbuckle loads it up. Looking back shoulder here. Trey Roberson one-on-one. Incomplete, and a flag comes out at the end as DeMonte Coatsy was battling with Roberson.
Yeah, pretty good battle, and this should show you the arm talent of Nick Arbuckle. Play action, got an extra offensive lineman in there on the left-hand side. Play action fake.
Defensive pass interference. Calgary, number 31. The ball will be placed where the infraction occurred. Automatic 1st down.
Long throw. One-on-one. Veteran to veteran. Yeah, he's pulling this left arm there. Doesn't allow him to extend to the ball.
Well, 30-yard gain via penalty here for the Argonauts as Roberson grabs that left arm of DeMonte Coatsy. Couldn't get to the football, and down behind the play for the Argonauts, there's an injured offensive lineman as Simpson. No way. Yes way upon review.
Yeah. So what made that play work was the timing of the throw. Wasn't so much the accuracy of the throw, is you get it out there and your receiver has a chance to make a play on the ball as opposed to the DB having a chance to settle down and make a play. And he had to attack, and he was out of position, grabbed the left arm. But it was the timing of the throw, and Nick Arbuckle showing his arm strength to get it out there. Not the most accurate throw, but a timing throw that helped his receiver out make a play.
And Isaiah Cage is the injured Argonauts offensive lineman down behind the play, their left tackle. So they were using some different personnel packages with Dylan Giffen and Landon Rice, both tackle-type bodies in the game. And looks like a tweak on the neck there for the big man, 6'4", 313 in his 6th year in the CFL.
Dinner's ready. You see that coming to the table. It's like, oh, man, I don't think we got enough. Right? It's like good to see him walking off on his own power.
So Ryan Hunter looks like he's going to bounce around here, shuffle the deck on the offensive line, and they'll play 1st and 10 after the defensive pass interference against Trey Roberson. Take the handoff to Carey, get it out. Kevin Natal. Here we go. The grab.
Demario Houston went low on him.
Big tackle that time. Robertal was going to be running down the sideline.
That's a good idea. I think David Sanchez in studio. Welcome back, David. Davis, glad to, and happy birthday. That's a good play by Demario Houston. Business decision, go low on that big man.
This time it is an inside handoff, and once again, the game plan comes to life. 2nd and 3, give it to Carey. Pound it up inside, move the sticks.
Yeah, that's like stealing right there. You always talk about it. 2nd and manageables.
Arbuckle rolls to his left, just flips this one into the turf and lives to play on 2nd down. As giving chase that time was Clarence Hicks. Stand out on the interior defensive line for the Stampeders.
Yeah, Hicks is standing right here, and he's quick. You know, he was spying Vernon Adams a couple weeks ago from the 1st level. Then they had Judge from the 2nd level. Just gives you an idea just how quick he is. Well positioned on that defensive play.
18-15, Toronto over the Stampeders in the rematch, home at home. 5 receivers for Arbuckle. Steps up in the pocket, crossing route underneath. Tavares Daniels makes the grab, lunges forward. Needed to get to the 32, and we'll see where they spot it. Looks from here to be just shy.
Yeah, just dump it underneath and hope your receiver, veteran receiver, Tavares Daniels, can make a play. He certainly does. He's your player from Notre Dame.
Arbuckle quick to the line, and flags come up here on the snap. Procedure was someone lined up offside.
Legal procedure. The tight end was not set prior to the ball being snapped. Toronto, that was 24. This is a 5-yard penalty. It remains 3rd down.
Oh, that hurts.
That'll take you out of the 3rd and short, and a shake of the head from Ryan Dinwiddie in anguish.
Just never set, as Andre Proulx alerted us to. 15. Just never gave himself a chance to be set for a 2nd to make it illegal. It's a tough one.
Now to McMahon, makes his way off the field. Liam Hairolahu knocked it down from 41 earlier on. This one comes from 45 yards away, as the winds have calmed considerably since Rene Paredes had a surprising miss earlier in this ball game. Plenty of leg accuracy is good. Hairolahu is 2 for 2, and a 21-15 lead for the Double Blue.
The Ultra Hole Challenge is back, featuring Wayne Gretzky and Michael Block. Choose your ball now at MichelobUltraHole.ca.
My money's on Gretz.
I don't know. I've seen Gretz golf before.
He's got Rebel X, he nasty.
Yeah, he's got sweetest hands of all time in the NHL, I think so. That should carry over on the links.
Big Bear in the gun, trailing by 6. Not nearly the deficit he faced at the end of the 3rd quarter last week against these Argonauts, but still in a hole, trying to find the first road victory of the year. And that one goes to Peyton Logan for a couple.
Doesn't look like much, but Benji Franklin, he kind of really broke up that play. Just kept fighting off on the tackler. Left of your screen and watch him just keep fighting, and he kind of sets that corner with Ishmael Hyman on him, and he makes the tackle kind of like with his backside, just continuing to fend out. That's a heck of a play by Benji.
McNair with the third longest starting streak in Stamps history, behind only Garcia and Burris on 2nd and 8. Flags come up. Freebie loads it up. Ishmael Hyman one-on-one again. Tavares McFadden, and it fell through the hands of Hyman.
What?
As McFadden does a push-up or two.
That's a nice throw. Good-looking plate, Freebie.
Throw to number 7. 5-yard penalty will replay 2nd down.
Yeah, Ferland Ramalade. He's just right here. You can see him jump. Easy flag. Jake knows it. And then he's going to chunk it. And right here, here's your number. Here's your guy. Just go get it. Double move. Get there, gone. That's a pretty nice play there by number 2.
There gets five free ones. Handed off inside. Peyton Logan trying to pound the rock. He's going to come up a full yard shy. And Tommy Stevens is already off the sideline for the Stamps.
You know, those are explosive plays that Calgary had in the 4th quarter as we near the, get close to that. I'm sure they'd like to duplicate what they had last week, but that was really close to an explosive play right there in that free shot downfield.
I've seen some creative calls with Stevens at 3rd and short this year.
Yeah.
If they mix up here or go straight ahead. Off to the right-hand side, and Stevens, it's folded up, but not until he crosses the 50-yard line. That's what he needed. First down, Stampeders. As the short yardage crew for the Calgary club continues to pound their way through the opposition. 21-15. Toronto up over Calgary. Stampeders were trailing going into the 4th last week as well at home. They found a way to win down 17, down 6. Let's see if they can dig their way back in here in week number 10 at BMO. The strangest quarter of CFL football we've ever seen. But it was an adventure there in the 3rd. Up and down the field, these two teams go. One more quarter to play against each other in this 8-quarter set, home at home. What are you looking for going into the final?
Well, again, Janarian Grant made a difference there in that 3rd quarter with another explosive play, but I saw a lot of Fuller Ramalade in that 3rd quarter, too. Not a lot of flow in that 3rd quarter, but a lot of flow in Ramalade, making his presence felt. And Calgary trying to put together a drive here, settle things down, but the execution and was whatever happened last night made its way over here for that 3rd quarter. The presence of that voodoo doll, I don't think is still around us, but at the end of the day, got to settle down here.
Big Bear begins with a completion to Clark Barnes. Little hurdle across the 50.
That guy is just, I mean, I've really enjoyed watching him kind of find his game this year in space, and he's showing you his just ability to make things happen in space and making people miss. And there's another example of it right there. Felt it underneath and just jumped right over the top. Bagleton helping out his teammate, coming back, and McFadden, Metier being blocked, coming off and making a late tackle.
A couple of Guelph Griffins cutting it up there with Metier, and Clark Barnes is now Mayer. Stands in, throw, back shoulder, looking for Barnes. Did he find a way to dig it out of the turf? No, they'll say incomplete.
Yeah, long throw, a timing throw once again, wide side of the football field, back shoulder, tries to hit him, just didn't get enough on it. He felt a little pressure there. You can see he couldn't step into it, kind of off the back foot. Pretty close. Oh, really close.
For a guy that led the NCAA in interceptions when he was at Florida State, Tavares McFadden has had a ton of targets. They've gone after him with a variety of different receivers tonight. On 2nd and 10, hard count. Jake Mayer against the 5-man rush, gets it out of his hands. Reggie Bagleton. And once again, Bagleton to the 2 because Reggie Begelton refuses to be tackled.
Oh, yeah. Peyton Logan, step up to the plate, big man. Yes, sir. Really nice pickup right up the middle, and then Begelton just goes ballistic on the back end, denying everybody would-be tacklers, saying, come on, let's go for a ride. See how far we can go. That's how we did it at Lamar. Come on, let's go. Unbelievable.
Well,
down to the 2.
Asked Jake Mayer this week, if you get a carry from a receiver down inside the 5-yard line, who would you trust? He said Reggie. He just bleeds Calgary Stampeders red.
It's Tommy Stevens time now.
And over the top, flags come up, and Stevens is into the end zone as the Calgary Stampeders, for now, tie things up at 21.
Defensive offside. Toronto number 2. That penalty is declined. Result of the play is a touchdown.
McFadden offside, and Rennie Paredes has a chance to take the lead back for the Calgary Stampeders with this extra point.
Yeah, coming into this ball game, this guy right here, number 15, Thomas Stevens, yeah, totally offside. Just like, come on, guys, get a ruler, straight line, let's go. Yeah, Stevens was 19 and 19 in third and short situations, 1 and 2. And boy, he's just perfect. Continues to dominate there along with the big fellas in front of him. Reggie Begelton, big part of that. Incredible catch and run. Would not be denied.
Well, fitting that Reggie Begelton, as the Stampeders take the lead. Last week at halftime in Calgary, they were starting slow, and he said, well, it's going to be a better second half. Just watch. And then he led the revolution. Well, here he is once again in the fourth quarter, doing it to the Argonauts at BMO.
6, 7 guys.
The 7-year CFL veteran, all in Stampeders red and white. Reggie Begelton leads by example with a lot of young Canadian receivers around him, and it's plays like this that have him stepping to the forefront in their minds as the veteran, the guy they can lean on.
7 people had a chance to tackle him. And the lineup off sides, Stevens, this is a no-brainer, a little extra effort, reach over, count it, perfect. Mark Michelle getting some work in himself.
I want to be like Reggie, he says. Start doing the bench.
Seriously. Just get in the weight room. Do what Reggie does.
Rennie Paredes has been crushing kickoffs this year. Sends another inside the 10. Janarian Grant trying to change this game once again. Will he have another? A flag comes out as Grant cuts back at midfield and is wrapped up at the 46-yard line.
During the return, holding Toronto number 10, 10-yard penalty. First down.
They got Mittal again.
We got a theme going. Another good-looking return, aided with them. Holding call.
And Mittal and Bailey Devine Scott going at it all night long, and 2 calls now against number 10.
Yeah, I mean, it's just us twice, too, on Devine Scott. Just working a little bit harder. Mickey trying to figure that out. And so was the young receiver / running back / first-round draft choice. A lot to figure out in this game, that's for sure.
Evans made his impact. Let's see what Nick Arbuckle can do with a 1st and 10 from his own 15 after the penalty. And he'll get it out to Mackay Polk. Buried. Tackle Demario Houston.
Reading it. Yeah, he says, Seen it so many times. Yeah, that's just a pretty play. Doesn't look like much, but you can appreciate it because you know how much work goes into that. Sit down in the zone. Nice tackle, form tackle, beautiful.
Richardson Danny checks out of the ball game. They send in Dylan Giffen as an extra offensive lineman. Ryan Hunter moves to tight end in this set with Kadeem Carey. 2nd and 2 in the backfield. They'll fake the run, look to throw. David Unger makes the grab, bounces off a tackler, but he's not going to get there. What a great play by the Calgary defense, stringing it out, and Kobe Williams on the spot.
That's great read, little play fake, slow develop, which gave DBs in the backside. Kobe Williams flying over. You see Roberson flying over, coming in there helping as well. He came all the way from the opposite side of the football field. Coble Williams knifes in there, just like we saw the previous play when DeMario Houston knifed in there. It doesn't look like much. Great tackle in open field, 2 plays in a row, forces Toronto to punt. Calgary should have decent field position.
Brett Monson, defensive coordinator for the Stampeders, calling the shots in, and the intensity in his eyes tell you everything you need to know about that group. They are fired up here in the 4th quarter, nearing 10 minutes remaining, and holding a 1-point advantage. Ishmael Hyman, after a 52-yard punt, with a 6-yard return on the play. In a 1-point game, we got a great one in the home-at-home closer between Calgary and Toronto. Will Reggie do it again? Let's find out when we return. Well, despite the fact that they now hold a 1-point advantage, Calgary began the 4th quarter today losing, something that they were doing by a lot more last week at home, and somehow found a way to move to 4-0 on home turf. It took everybody to get them to climb over the top of Toronto, but man, it was a battle in the 4th quarter, and Calgary had all the momentum basically right from the very first play of that 4th and final quarter.
We've seen some similar plays like that for the Stampeders defensively too. Deflection our way in his teammates' hands. Big plays.
Take the run to Jalen Philpott here, now over the middle of the field, and Mayer just missed it. Pressure was on from Robert Priester. Incomplete, had the open receiver in Ishmael Hyman.
Yeah, he's coming across the middle, slow developing route. Got to get depth, get past the linebackers. Turns Metier around. Jake is waiting, watch him, waiting. He's waiting. Wants to throw it. Pressure. Had to throw it a little early. Priester right in his lap. Give him a little love tap right at the end. Letting you know he's around, bothering him, right?
2nd and 10. The Calgary 46. Mayer, quick drop, quick release. Intercepted. Deshaun Amos has got it. Heads for the end zone. Can he beat Jake Mayer to the corner? He can. Pick 6. Argonauts retake the lead.
Deshaun Amos reads this like an open book and just outruns everybody in the end zone. Just what the doctor ordered for the Argonauts. Well, that's huge, big-time game-changing right there. Snuff out any momentum Calgary had from getting a touchdown, a big break on a nice return by Toronto, and then getting a 2-and-out after that. Jake Mayer was a little late on the throw, and Amos said, "Thank you very much."
Go for 2 once again here as Arbuckle hands it off inside. Kadeem Carey sidestepping into the end zone. 29-22, and the Argos are making the most of their majors here. Deshaun Amos, 55-yard pick 6. He jumped it immediately. Jake Mayer, like a deer in the headlights.
Oh!
Staring it down, knew he couldn't get there in time.
Yeah, Deshaun Amos making it look easy. Showing here he is right here. Check him out. Watch what he does here. He's just looking right back here, and he just plays this beautifully. Markin doesn't really come back, and he's already into the break to the house. Got the speed, outrun the angle. Jake Mayer, huge, big-time play for the Argonauts when they needed it most. Deshaun Amos steps up.
Great to have some interceptions in the fold for the Argonauts, who have had a lot of success picking off opposing quarterbacks the last couple of seasons. Ishmael Hyman now trying to get a big return as Cam Eccles out in front. A flag comes in. These teams continue to bang away on special teams, trying to carve out field position with a one-score game in the fourth.
Last time Deshaun Amos had one pick six.
Return. Illegal block in the back. Calgary. 10-yard penalty. First down, Calgary.
It was July last year against Saskatchewan. Took it to the house. Second of his career. That was timely right there. Big time momentum changer. Back to their defense again. Penalty puts Calgary deep in their own hole. They're going to regain some momentum right here because Toronto said, little back and forth going on here in the fourth quarter like we saw last week.
That momentum's been the name of the game between these two teams.
Yeah, it has.
It's so similar in the structure, the way they call games, the way they operate, some of the connections on players. There, hands it off. Peyton Logan going opposite the offensive line as they create some room out to the 30-yard line. Gain of about 8.
A lot of eye candy going on here. You know, a lot of motion pre-snap by receivers and running back all over, and a really nice job of getting your eyes right by Robert Priester. First man there slowed him up a little bit, got some help from John Jones, and otherwise, you know, that play was designed to really limit the number of people on the back end of that play where Logan could be hidden and not touched by Priester. He's into the secondary and he's still running.
Tommy Stevens in with the short yardage package off to the right-hand side. And a big ask on second and about 2 yards to go, so he'll likely have to stay on for 3rd and 1 for Jake Mayer. Throwing that interception. He's only had 1 interception in the last 3 games. It was Royce Metier of these Argonauts last week. So back-to-back weeks with interceptions for Mayer.
And a fumble earlier.
Yeah.
That cost his team.
Stripped by Falarna Remolade. Now they'll play 3rd and 1 with Mayer watching on from the sidelines. As Dave Dickinson hauls it into Tommy Stevens. From his own 31. They'll go with the wide run this time. Get turned around. Big play by the Argonauts. They get the pick 6, and they get a turnover on downs inside the 25-yard line.
That is huge. Ralph Holly, get you some, big boy. Western Michigan first-year player. Said, hey, you want to see big, Tommy Stevens? I got you big. This is a big-time play. Just outweighed him, out-hustled him, out-physicaled him, just beat Brown across his face and went and got Tommy Stevens, who can fly for a big man. Talk about game changers. And defensively, Toronto's just stepped up here in the fourth quarter.
Disappointing for Dave Dickinson because his short yardage team was 22 of 22 before that snap. Big loss, and now it's Toronto football. 1st and 10 from the Calgary 25. Arbuckle looks over the top and into traffic. It will be held onto by Mackay Pope. Great coverage by Kobe Williams, but Pope somehow came away with it.
Strong hands. You talk about strong hands. I didn't think he was going to throw this. This is one of those balls that I'm talking about. He likes to try to fit in there, and it gets him in trouble, particularly when you just want to put points on the board right here. That's just a heck of a catch by Pope. Because that throw, I don't think, should have ever been thrown. That's tight coverage by Kobe Williams, and even better catch by Pope.
Even with the Pope touchdown from earlier tonight, no receiver on these Argonauts has more than 2 touchdowns this season. Incredibly balanced. This time out to Mittal, trying to turn the corner, wrapped up from behind Bentley Sanders.
Arm talent here by that man right there, Nick Arbuckle. Watch him drop his arm. People in his face, sling it on him. A lot of quarterbacks doing that these days. Just a good look at it right here. Oh, man. Judging his face. Accurate throw. Pick up 4 or 5.
Nice ball by Arbuckle. We'll see if he can deliver once again, or will they go to the former Stampeder. Kadeem Carey stands alongside Arbuckle. Second and 6.
Here.
Arbuckle escapes the pocket, rolls to his right, looks into the end zone, misses.
That's not a bad miss, though. You know, you'd like to see it on the receiver, but it's not a bad miss because you're getting pressured and you don't want to force it, but he just misses him. Bottom of the line, you're going to see him right here coming off the edge. That's Wouters bringing it, and he can scoot. Arbuckle feels it. Like I said, you roll out Liram Haralahu here, get you 3 more. Go up 10. Holly will take it. That's points on turnovers right there.
Haralahu still got to knock it through, but it certainly helps in the momentum continuing in Toronto's favor here in the fourth quarter, unlike last week. They were up by 17 and then lost to these Stampeders. Haggerty puts it down. Haralahu tags another 3 on the board. A 10-point advantage. Well, it is one of those summer nights in Toronto.
A lot going on downtown Toronto, too.
Busy. The Argos game. Right at the center of it. As the Stampeders will try to mount a 10-point comeback in the next 5.5 minutes.
I think he's comfortable. I think he's comfortable in this situation.
The ball comes out from there to Jalen Philpott. Crosses the 50. And Priester finally there to bring him to the turf after Tavares McFadden had a hold of his leg. First down already for the Stampeders.
Yeah, he's right here, 85, getting the football. And like most of these Calgary Stampeder receivers, they can do something with it after the catch.
Going to hurry up quickly. Logan looks for the edge now, trying to get a block from Clark Barnes. He does. Mason Pierce finally bumps Logan out of bounds, but back-to-back first downs on first down.
Hey, let's not forget who their receiver coach is for the Calgary Stampeders. That's Nick Lewis, Hall of Famer. And this is just a nice job of receivers knowing that they just don't catch the football and run with it. They got a block too, and they've been doing a good job of that all night.
No subs here from the Stamps. Pressure look from Toronto. They'll send 6. Mayer has to get it out. He does. Over the middle and nearly intercepted. Pierce and Priester look at each other and say, one of us should have grabbed it.
Yeah, Jake was just locked on to one receiver there, and it cost him almost. Yeah, it's tight coverage in the back end. Obviously, Priester having a really good football game. Pressure. Logan does a nice job picking that up. That could have gone the other way in a heartbeat. And you got away with one right there, Jake. Better make it count.
Good chance to play again on 2nd and 10.
More pressure.
Edge pressure from Toronto. Over the middle, Clark Barnes makes the grab. And it's only a gain of 4. So now comes 3rd down.
You take 3 here.
Deep in the territory. Send out Rene Paredes and then play from there after you assume Paredes knocks it through.
Yep. That's what Dave Dickinson is doing. See George Hopkins, Gio.
Yeah, Gio looks very concerned. It's like
he's like, I've been here a gazillion times. Got to do a lot of laundry after the game.
The 1,000-game mark reached last year for George Hopkins, the equipment manager, as he watches on and his Stampeders red and white trying to mount a comeback once again. This will be central to it. Pressure on Rene Paredes, but that's something he's never had an issue with. As whistles and Andre Proulx with the call.
Timer, please reset the game clock to read 3 minutes and 58 seconds. 3:58.
Cody Grace will hold. Rene Paredes missed earlier on this evening. This one comes from 33 yards away. Nice hold by Grace to get it down in time. Paredes makes good. A one-score football game once again between Toronto and Calgary here late in the 4th.
Yeah, you know, we talked about George Hopkins, the equipment coach for Calgary. I don't know, 50-plus years. Danny Webb on the other side for the Toronto Argonauts. He's getting close to that himself. Just 2 icons here. taking care of these fellas so that they can go do their thing and so we can call games. We got two of the best here in Danny Webb and George Hopkins.
No doubt. Icons of the game themselves, albeit off the field. The clock rolls now. Nearing 3.5 minutes, and Nick Arbuckle and the Argonauts. What can they do? How aggressive will they be? Trying to get to the finish line against Calgary and split the home and home. Flag comes out. The Calgary bench was asking for a flag.
Well, yeah, right in 83's ear. I think he heard him too. Coach is saying he didn't agree
Prior
with
to
it.
yards being gained, holding Toronto number 86.
86 is the
10-yard
first man
penalty.
right here.
It remains set first down.
Got the right arm across his chest. Proper call.
Richie Sindani checks into the game. Kevin Mittal stands on the sideline. Now will make his way to the Argonauts bench. Demario Houston, his 4th interception already here this evening. Could he add a 5th? That would be a big one to try and steal even more momentum back in a single score game. Nearing the 3-minute warning. Ryan Dinwiddie shakes his head.
Because he's behind the sticks.
Yep. Calls it in. 1st and 20. They'll hand it off. Kadeem Carey. Try and get half of it back. Comes close. Picks up about 8.
You know, he talked about this after the game and the way he called the 4th quarter. You know, he's thinking about those things right now, these important play calls he's having to make.
Well, a good one here late. Janarian Grant into the end zone earlier. Falarna Rimalade helping the Argonauts climb into the lead. Can they hold on to it? We find out when we return to BMO Field. Tomorrow with the second half of another home and home. It's the Cats and the Owls. It's going down in Montreal. The defending champs trying to hold off Hamilton as it's on TSN, 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific. Looking forward to that matchup. Davis Alexander in the fold. I saw Casey Sales got fined for the big hit he had on Davis Alexander from last week's game. The lone player across the CFL fined from week number 9. So that will be an intense matchup at Percival Molson Stadium.
Veteran going against the youngster.
Second and 12, big hit up high. Wow. Arbuckle, but he delivers on the right sideline. David Unger, rarely used this season, came in with just 4 catches on the season and makes a big grab, but man, Nick Arbuckle standing in and delivering.
Yeah, he's saying that Hauser got him across the face too. Talk about arm talent. Oh no, that wasn't Hauser, that was Rose, Mike Rose. Took it, put his helmet right on Arbuckle's helmet after the beautiful throw to Unger to the wide side of the football field, moving the sticks after 1st and 20.
Won't go anywhere. Plenty of ball game left here with 2:40 and a 7-point difference. They'll go to the ground game. Kadeem Carey turns the legs, found some running room, backpedaling across the 40-35 and tackled down around the 25-yard line.
Yeah, Marshall, I think this is what Ryan Dinwiddie was talking about after the loss on the road in Calgary last week and how things went down late in that football game. He would have called things differently. Give it to this man, number 25, a few more times, and good things will happen. And this is exactly what he's doing tonight. And Kadeem Carey delivers for Ryan Dinwiddie and his teammates.
Kadeem Carey broke the dollar bill in terms of carries last week, over 100. And that is the very first run of 20 yards or more for Kadeem Carey on this season. 26 yards.
Earned every bit of those.
Bouncing off tacklers. So Arbuckle gets a fresh set of downs. Nearing 2 minutes left in the ball game. Hands it off. Deontay McMahon this time. Makes a man miss in the hole. Crosses the 15. And is tackled finally. But the ground game salting away at the end of this one, as they're already in field goal range to try and re-add what Calgary just clawed away from them with Rene Paredes.
Just mixing it up. Big boys up front are eating right now. Kadeem Carey.
Calgary.
Little Deontay McMahon. Fresh legs. McNeese Cowboy riding a little bit right there. Making people miss. Judge just hanging on.
And Judge was banged up during the 3-minute warning as well and took a knee once again, so he heads to the sideline. They'll send in Micah Tights to the ball game, make some other substitutions as well. And Toronto from the 15-yard line. Could really punctuate this one with Nick Arbuckle playing against. He's got lots of former teams, but really the team where he became the sought-after free agent, the one that Ottawa wanted, and then moved to Toronto, and then bounced around Edmonton, and then back here to Toronto. Began in Calgary for Nick Arbuckle.
Timer, please reset the game clock to read 2 minutes and 4 seconds.
More voodooism going on. The clock. Marshall, you know Calgary is thinking turnover here. They gotta claw at the ball. They gotta get it out somehow. Get the football away from Toronto here. And the next 2 downs. Field goal will hurt you right here.
Daniel Adeboboye into the ball game, crowd into it, and the Argos bench just saying, hey, we got work to do here. Quiet down for a second, then you can celebrate. Adeboboye gets the rock and up to the 10-yard line, where he hits a wall of Stampeders tacklers. James Vaughters around his legs at the bottom of the pile, and Micah Awe right there as well.
Yeah, but it's a good tackle.
6 yards.
Good eyes. A little late there by Micah, but he finishes it. Got help from 3 of his teammates. They know the importance of this down right here. Somehow get this football back. Bowders. Adeboboye.
Adeboboye stays in the ball game.
More fresh legs, right?
To McMahon and Kadeem Carey stand on the sidelines, and now more whistles.
Toronto.
Or maybe didn't like the look that they were getting, or wanted to talk things over a little bit more with 1:40 remaining and give Kadeem Carey some time to check back into the ball game. That 26-yard rush took a lot out of him. Had to take a couple of plays there, man.
Yeah, well, not a bad idea. Spread the load, fresh legs. You got McMahon, you got Adeboboye in there, and now with 1 second on the clock, they called a timeout. Took it all the way down as far as they could.
As we see Dave Gatza, 250th game in the Canadian Football League. Congratulations to Dave.
Way to go, Dave.
There some Grey Cups as well, so great to see him. And
some
3 Grey Cups to be exact.
Some at the airport a couple of weeks ago. Just headed down, had a little vacay. In the meantime, hit that 250. I'm good.
Congratulations to him. We've seen plenty of thrillers just like this one as Toronto tries to close it out. 2nd down and 5. Hand it off. Carey to the end zone. Touchdown, Argo.
Couple of plays off, and he's into the mix. Breaks Judge's tackle, breaks 40. Then there's 5 or 6 of them just laying in his wake, as there was no way that Kadeem Carey was going to be denied on that run. Great night. Bouncing back after only 8 carries and 31 yards last week in the loss. He's making sure that doesn't happen this week.
That said last week to us that he was kind of using meditation and yoga to try and slow himself down. He was afraid he was going to get too excited going back to Calgary, get too ramped up too soon, and get to the game and feel burnt out, not have any juice left. Well, on a short week, he's got plenty of juice left here late in the 4th.
That's conditioning. He's just being a professional. And there's a lot of Stampeders in his wake. Going, what just happened? And big boys eating up front. Well, they like that drive. Thank you, Coach Dinwiddie. Appreciate you putting it on our shoulders, letting us do what we do best, and that's go run people over. Open it up for 2-5. Yes, sir. Mattel has had his issues tonight. He's certainly thankful for that one, putting them up by 14.
7 plays, 70 yards in just over 2 minutes, punctuated by Kadeem Carey as Nick Arbuckle goes and has a discussion with Mackay Polk and DeMonte Coxie, the offensive line, talking it over after dominant ground game. Closed that out. Isaiah Cage out of his uniform there on the sideline. You see the cutoff shirt. Starting left tackle here tonight. Didn't finish, but stepped up from some of the reserves on this roster.
That's glad to see those guys smiling after getting the job done tonight.
Ishmael Hyman, big return flag comes out on the back end of that play. As the Argonauts coverage team.
Another opportunity to do it. Win the return. Illegal block. Calgary number 97, 10-yard penalty, first down.
Well, Justin Sambu has the flag go against him here, and Dave Dickinson looking in the playbook for the old 14-point 90-second flip.
Right? Isn't that elusive road win this year?
Yeah.
0-4 on the road to this point, staring 0-5 in the face, falling below 500. Toronto responded after a terrible fourth quarter last week. Always good to do it in front of your home crowd.
Calgary, if they can't close this out 0-5, and Toronto will move to 4-1 at home. Mayer flips it over the top. Peyton Logan makes the grab and drags his leg out of bounds as Benji Franklin there on the spot as some of the wear and tear on the road when they set sail from McMahon. It hasn't gone well.
Yeah, that one right there. Turnover ratio is always going to get you.
Just clutch plays at home, too, right? They find that extra gear, it seems like. The Stampeders are in Calgary. It's completed underneath the Reggie Beggleton here on 2nd down and 6.
How big was the Janarian Grant return for a touchdown? Deshaun Amos pick 6. How about that? That's just like it in a nutshell right there. It's teams and defense. Nick Arbuckle taking care of the football.
Hey, Logan still trying to maximize his opportunity as the lone running back on the roster here tonight. Steps out of bounds after adding to his rushing yards on the evening, as Logan actually ran right out of his shoes.
You hear about this all the time, but you never get to see it. We're fixing to get to see it. How do you do that? Well, we're going to show you how.
They got to lace them up.
Wow.
You want this? You're our only running back. You're going to need that. Come here. Logan Bonner, backup quarterback on tying duty.
There's Tommy Stevens in there, running back.
Oh, Mayer completes. Mark and Michelle, and Fraser Sopik went low.
Mark and Michelle with the catch.
As another first down, but Michelle be feeling that one tomorrow.
First down, Stampeders.
I like Sopik, man. Sopik just gets in there, man. He's just nasty.
With a fresh set of downs, now takes a shot over the top. Clark Barnes open, dropped it in. Beautiful pass. Beautiful pass that time from Jake Mayer, and Clark Barnes over the shoulder makes the play. A big explosive for an offense that hasn't had very many.
How's that happen? Deep outside third, that's all you got to do. Don't let anybody get higher than you.
Hold them to sleep with all the crossers, curls, and checkdowns on this drive.
That's just like, what are you doing? That was on Mason. That was on Mason Pierce. He had deep outside third there. McFadden was dropping off because nobody was in the area outside. And it was Mason over the top at deep outside third because they had cut coverage and he didn't get deep enough.
36 yards for Clark Barnes. Now they'll empty it out 3-by-3. 4-man rush from the Argonauts. Mayer throws it up into the end zone. Nobody home. Incomplete.
Jake paid the price on that one. He let it go, and I think he and his quarterback were not on the same page. Pressure right up the middle. Is that Flo coming, number 7, standing there? Yep. They all add up. Some of them are not for sacks, but those hits, they add up.
No matter how much pain you're in, you can't help but look and see if you just threw an interception. That's the old quarterback rule as well. You know.
Yeah, you have an eye on it all the time, that's for sure. Oh, no.
A little incompletion here, trying to get a slip screen into the hands of Peyton Logan. That makes it 3rd and 10 to the 25-yard line.
Get one here, get a touchdown here, first down, but in the end zone somehow, outside kick, you never know. This is the CFL. Look at Flo.
see the wheels on Dave Dickinson turning, trying to figure out what he wants to do in this unique situation late in the game, down 14. He's trying to give his team a chance with a touchdown, or at the very least, a fresh set of downs. See what he calls in. It's Cam Eccles and Marky Michelle to the bottom of your screen. Reggie Megleton, Jalen Philpott, and Clark Barnes to the top. Mayer rips this one. It's stares it down, wishing that Begleton would have been another yard or two deep. But all for naught, and it will be another loss on the road here for the Calgary Stampeders.
So Mayer, as a starter, falls to 17-22. Arbuckle picks up and win. He moves to 10-15. Got his team at 5-4, and Calgary goes to 4-5. Things are just tightening up in the East and the West. That's all I can say.
Metier. Yeah. Played another great game here tonight. Made a ton of plays with all those quick receiver screens and asking the free safety to come and make a bunch of tackles, which Metier has done so much of this season. As we see the updated CFL standings here in the East Division, with Hamilton set to take on Montreal coming up on the CFL and TSN tomorrow.
It's tight. It's going to be a good game. Like I said, they got Bo, veteran, going against the youngster, Davis Alexander. Two great defenses.
There's the West for you.
Maybe one great defense.
What an effort by the Argonauts, coming home 5-day week off a loss that could have broken them down. 17 They led these Calgary Stampeders, fell apart. Otherwise, it would have been back-to-back victories. In fact, 3 in a row against the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. Matty, final thought on this one as Nick Arbuckle gets congratulations from his ex-teammates.
I thought Nick played within himself today and made some really good throws and decisions and not forcing the issue. One time he got away with it. His receiver poke, I think, really picked him up on the back end of a tight throw, but not for the most part. He did what he had to do as a leader of this football team, going out there and giving his teammates a chance. And on the other side, I think that Jake Mayer had just one too many mistakes that cost his football team. But big time defense stepping up, Janarian Grant doing his thing, and big time home win for the Toronto Argonauts.
It was a great night for football here at BMO Field as the Toronto Argonauts fired up with the opportunity to come home, play in front of their fans. They won here last time against the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. They take down another team from the West here tonight, the Calgary Stampeders, and avoid losing the season series. They split it instead. Hamilton, Montreal coming up tomorrow. For now, thanks for watching. It's off to SportsCenter with Nikki Reyes and Jermaine Franklin.